Welcome into the Cam Strick Podcast, presented by HairClub.
Oh!
Episode number 151.
Fuck, I would have a bald head if it wasn't for HairClub and Hans Wyman. Swear to God. They did surgery on my front part of my head. And I have hair, and I kind of like it. I still have a cul-de-sac in the back.
Yeah,
we need to talk a little bit.
Is that what it is?
It's called a cul-de-sac. It's there, but if the camera's in front of me, I'm like, hi, I have hair.
Oh, yeah.
It worked.
Did it work?
Yes, it did. It takes 18 months. It grows. It's great because you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I have more hair. So anyway, they're our title sponsor. We love you. You guys are great. Out of Boca Raton, Florida. HairClub for men, baby. Let's go.
Boca Raton, but they've got over 120 different places across North America. Dude.
Big time. They're big time,
like
baby.
120 across North America.
Feel pretty good about this. Yeah.
1,100 hair health professionals. What do you think that is?
That means you go in there and they explain exactly what's going on with your scalp, dude. They're like, you're losing hair this time. We have extra hair here we could take out and we could implement here, blah, 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 blah. They'll explain everything to you. Yeah. I've been through this procedure multiple times, and it's easy peasy. And I'll tell you what, man, you'll learn a lot of stuff about your hair. And they've got like 700
combinations, different personalized solutions, and they have at-home options and in-center options. So if you need to go to the facility, you can, but you can also do it at home.
I know. They make it easy for you. Absolutely. And look, hair loss, it is what it is. I don't give a shit. I talk about it. I'm like, look, I remember my last years of my career, and like my helmet would come off in a fight, and I'm like, not even worried about getting knocked out. I'm worried about people looking at my fucking bald spot.
And these guys, they're like personal trainers for your hair. Like people say, well, how would you explain HairClub? I'm like, well, they're like personal trainers for your hair.
Can I say something?
See Drew Brees, by the way?
Oh my, no, that's a different story. He did. That's not what they took from the back of your head and put it on your front.
What did they do?
They put something on.
They put something on there.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. 100%. I don't know if that's HairClub. I don't know.
I don't think it is.
It doesn't matter. But that came pretty quick. This takes time when you do the hair restoration, which I did. It takes time and it grows organically and you see it growing anyway.
Yeah.
But Drew Brees did that pretty quick.
Yeah, I know
that motherfucker just retired.
And listen, I know they've got full service salons, treatments, cut, style. So check it out. HairClub.com, baby. All right.
What's up?
Episode 151. Real quick, though, Drew Brees. I don't know, man. Like, you can't go from, like, having, like, this comb over on national television, like, every weekend, and now all of a sudden you just show up with, like
a ton. It doesn't work that way. See, that's why this is different. Like, you do it. I did in late winter, early spring, and by the time the end of summer came, I'm like, oh snap! I'm going to Lake of the Ozarks. I'm jumping in the water.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
I'm like, what's up? I'm looking at myself.
The Ozarks, really?
You jump in a lake, and you know when you have water on your head, it exposes your hairline more. But when that start growing in, because I got like late February, early March, and then like late July happened. I'm like, I feel more comfortable. I jumped in the water. Yes. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, God, you're sexy. You are sexy, Cam.
You shake your head.
I'm headbanging like Dimebag Daryl, baby. I'm headbanging like Dimebag Daryl, baby. And I'm like, what's up? What's up? And then you feel confident. And then Kate's like, settle down, son. Settle down. You're too cocky, Cam. But you have a good time, man. And that was actually a very good feeling.
You know how the dogs like shake when they get out of the water?
Yeah, I was saying, I'm like
from the head all the way down to the tail.
A supermodel.
And they always do it right next to you.
I would get out with the fucking ladder. I'm like flexing, flipping my hair back like I'm fucking sexy. I'm fucking sexy right now. Who's taking pictures? Let's go.
Are you a football fan?
Yeah.
You get
not necessarily college football. I want the NFL, baby. I know all the storylines.
I feel like you would
go ahead, quiz me.
I feel like
go
you
ahead,
would
quiz
like.
me.
Well, I will on Mondays. We'll have football quizzes.
I ain't Carlo Koliakovo, who knows every goddamn thing about everything. Carlo's like, oh, did you see that tennis match?
He's like a diehard
I'm like,
Bills
Carlo,
fan.
I love you. God, I love you so much. We have such a good time. But you can't ask me tennis questions, homie.
Did he ask you
somebody kill somebody? Was there something that happened that I could somebody do something crazy? But as far as a match, I don't know. He knows everything.
All right, we've talked about this before, though. I just can't understand. This is why people who gamble a lot, like, you have to be so invested in sports. Like, I'm watching these videos, and these people are just devastated by the result of, like, college football games. Like, who wins and loses.
Yeah,
money. Could you imagine being that big of a fan, though, of, like, a college football team?
I didn't go to college, homie, so I don't know, like, Mizzou.
Did you go to high school?
I mean, kind of did. I did great until 9th grade, and then the hockey really started. I started playing juniors, and I'm like, I'm back and pretty tough and good. Maybe I'm going to stop school. But I was.
So who's your team? Who's your team?
I don't have a college team. Why would I have a college team? Why would I have a college team? I didn't go to Mizzou. I went to Windsor and fucking sniffed around all
who's your NFL team?
Oh, I don't give a fuck. Entertain me, homie. I want entertainment.
What, do you
want me to explain it again? Do you want me to explain it again?
Dude.
Pick a team. Why? Why when I could root for whoever's
Who's your favorite team? Who's the most entertaining team to you?
Well, last year was the Bucks because Tom Brady did his thing. Well, right now, I watched the Rams play last night, and that fucking facility is on.
Oh, my
Why
God.
did they leave St. Louis? Why did they leave St. Louis? Why?
So they can have a $5 billion stadium?
Fucking shit. Jam-packed. Nobody's wearing masks. No COVID restrictions. Doesn't seem like. Everybody's fucking partying. That place looked unbelievable. Now, it's going to cost you a ton of money for a ticket, but holy shit, it looked like the futuristic Star Wars ship. It's unbelievable. Why are you leaving St. Louis? What? Look at that. Mountains in the background. Place was jamming. It was awesome. And they got Matthew Stafford. He's throwing some heat down the pipe. Whatever. Okay.
$5.5 billion.
Jesus
Dude, they have
Christ.
the stadium like aerodynamically built where the fresh air from the ocean comes through that one side of the building.
Cold air from the ocean, that salt breeze.
It's natural.
Oh,
it's like
Andy.
natural air conditioning.
Oh, that salty breeze from the ocean that you just don't have in St. Louis. We're in the Midwest, baby. We get tornadoes and shit, but I watched that last time. Like, that's fucking sick tough. I know all y'all here in St. Louis, like, oh, I miss the Rams. Yeah, so do I. Kate and her family. She was a Rams cheerleader. She loved it. She went on trips and did this, that, and the other. But that facility there, dude, and the way that, oh my,
you don't think they're building that here?
Dude. Like, well, they would have. They maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's so
not $5.5 billion.
But wow, man, looks good.
People don't care. People hate Kroenke. It's not really about the team.
What do you do?
Takes me back to my career back when I used to play football back in the day.
Man. Everybody talks about you a lot about
cornerback.
it. When you think of Andy Strickland, they're like, they don't think of your headlines at the blog that you used to do, or maybe being on Fox Sports or whatever. They think of like, fuck, he was a really good athlete. I think of Andy Strickland, I think of athletic ability. I think of being a cornerback. I think of fucking being a power forward in hockey. What happened to you? You hurt your back or something? Is that why you didn't make the NHL?
I went to the apple orchard this past weekend and picked
Look miserable. You look miserable
from the tree.
You look miserable. You know why? Because it's 90 degrees out. You pick apples and you go to the Halloween-esque ordeal when it's fucking 60s, baby.
Tell me about it.
Put a goddamn nice shirt on.
I know, flannel shirt. I know, some boots.
Some boots. Like, look the part.
So that's what you normally do.
It's summertime still.
Okay, but all of a sudden it turned into fall here locally, and then it got like 90 degrees that day. But it had a nice breeze. It wasn't hot at all.
You know how much money I've spent on Halloween this year? I don't.
Already?
Nah, we got some big old fucking Halloween decorations. A couple of them cost me some coin, but one might be a dragon, and a couple of other ones are like 12-foot Skeletors.
What are you one of those that creates like the haunted house?
I have people in my backyard that are playing golf, and I want to scare the motherfucker out of them, baby.
Oh, you're gonna put it in the back of the house?
Well, the dragon's going in front,
that
so
makes
people know that
sense.
I'm a warrior motherfucker. Okay, like Game of Thrones style, baby.
What is a dragon like?
A dragon's like, I'm the protector of Kate and Cam.
I've never seen a dragon for anything Halloween.
Look up I know, but I'm looking more at Castle-esque at the front.
Okay, time out.
But then I got a graveyard and Skeletors coming out, and I got the shit kickers in the back. Come on.
I've heard of graveyards.
Shit kickers.
I've heard of like monsters, ghosts, goblins, all that stuff. Dude, no one has a dragon for the Halloween costumes.
It's the protector of the castle. It's a dragon. It'll blow fire in your fucking ass.
Dude, I hope they're not judging
it blows
the neighborhood.
Fire.
Hope there's no awards being handed out.
I'm scaring kids.
You're not
I want to scare
anything.
kids. I don't like gruesome shit. I you come on my house. I got some hardcore shit. You might get caught on fire because of this fucking dragon.
Yeah. We've got big plans for Halloween this year too, Cam. As a matter of fact, we're starting.
What are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Well, I'll probably have the
down
Traeger going. I'll probably have
something?
the Traeger going and do a little hot cider. I can't decide with our fire pits. Like normally we'd hang out in the back of the house, but I think Halloween we got to be in the front of the house so we can see all like the action. You know, when people are walking down the street.
Well, what you could do is you give them direction. You could guide the front yard and put Halloween decorations and give them
around the
back, and then you guys sit there with the fire and be like, "Hi, kid, me," and then me, and then hook them up. And What I do at the end, though, I'm not going to lie to you. And I know we got some podcasts to go before Halloween, but I don't give a fuck because I love Halloween so much. I cheat the system. When I used to live in my old house, we had so many fucking kids roll out to my goddamn house. I didn't know what to do. You can only buy so much candy. Candy's expensive. And I'm like, motherfucker, these kids come up and they're like, I'm like, stop it. So what I would do is I would act like I'm going to give them the candy, Andy, like, hi, here you go. Yeah. And I'd act like I'd take my own candy. But what I'd really do is dig my hand into their candy jar and take theirs.
Like out of their little basket?
Now, I might be going to hell. Yes.
Dude, you
but
steal candy
I just
from the kids?
Well, I had to a couple times because I had the
What
more
a Hoosier,
important
dude.
kids coming
Major
down. I'm
Hoosier.
just saying. They had enough. They had enough candy. I evaluate. So sometimes when I was running low, so I didn't look like a dipshit when I knew that some of the important kids come down, I would snag a little bit from the non-important kids, put it in mine, and then hook them up.
Do you carve
Am
pumpkins?
I going to hell?
Do you carve
Am I going to hell?
pumpkins?
I used to give hockey sticks away. I don't do that anymore. But I moved into a different subdivision.
You
so
give
I'm
your
not gonna do
sticks
it.
away?
I used to, and I'm like,
Nobody
what am I
wants
doing?
that.
Yeah, they did. Oh, yes, they did. And then you're like, why am I giving hockey sticks away to a kid that's never going to use it? And I'm like, I got to keep.
Don't be
those.
stealing candy from kids. Dude.
That's
That's honestly like a terrible thing to do.
I did Hail
You know the
Marys.
old saying, that's like taking candy from a baby, whatever.
Yes,
you can't
exactly.
do that.
Well, the kid was 14 years old. No. Can I explain something
Oh,
to you?
what's the deadline?
No,
Hold on.
thank
What's the
you
expiration date
very
for trick or treating?
I didn't explain this part.
Probably 14.
It's to these motherfuckers that are 15, 16, which is like you're in a car, go like hang out with your girls and go to a Halloween party for your school.
Yeah.
But you're coming to my house
to trick or treat.
and I'm going to steal your candy. No. It's just not children I'm doing this to. This is older kids.
Better make that clear, dude.
Well, I
because
am
people
now.
are going
I'm
to
glad
be
you brought that up.
judging you.
Well, I've said this before. If sometimes you're running low, you got to do. If the kids got a hefty bag, I might take a couple Skittles.
There's
out
a
of that mug.
cutoff date.
I'm just saying. But if you're 15, fucking 16, and I'm like, aren't you cruising with chicks at a Halloween party, homeboy? Aren't you dressed up kind of cool, and the girls are dressing kind of cool, and you're doing your thing? Like, didn't you do that? No, you're trick or treating with your other dipshit buddy. Not to mention, you're not even dressed up. You just want my candy that I paid for. I don't think so, son. That's when I do my psych. Put it right back in mine. Get on with yourself, son. 15, 16 years old. If Ty's doing that, I'm going to have to talk to him.
Dude, 15,
If Ty's,
16?
I'm
No,
just
he's
letting
not
you know. I'll be
trick-or-treating.
evaluating that.
I don't think kids that age should be
I'm going to be
getting in,
evaluating him anyway.
You get in full costume that you go to Halloween parties and stuff like you don't
fuck
like
no.
leave your house
I
very
don't
often.
worry
Like
about it.
I mean,
Come to my house.
do the
Shit.
full costume thing.
I got a wedding this weekend, but
Are you excited for that? Dude, you can wear a suit.
I got to go shopping tonight. I look like a piece of shit. I stepped on fucking chocolate. It looks like I shit my pants.
Where's the wedding? Is it local?
It's in St. Albans. That's why I'm going. I don't go to weddings. You know that. I don't go to weddings, and don't you ever invite me to a bachelor party because I don't go.
Why?
I want to hang out with 20 swinging dicks when the one guy's
Well,
drunk.
what if
and
it's
we're
like what if it's tradition, dude?
I
That's
don't
what you
give a
do.
fuck.
What if it's your
Never.
friend?
I've turned down my best Jason, Trav. Turned them all down.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not.
You won't do the bachelor party?
No. 15 fucking dudes at the Lake of the Ozarks. Go fuck yourself.
Well, you don't have to be there. You can have
Fucking
one local. You just
weirdo
go out for the
fuckster.
night.
No, but they want to do crazy shit. If we want to go, if we're hanging out and doing like a little thing where we're golfing, that's fine. But if you're going out of town, like even
Dude,
my
your
neighbor
girl's
West,
got control over you. You need to do something.
that's a
about
Cam-
that.
no, that's a
you
Cam
need
rule.
to do something about that. She
Andy.
won't let you go to the bachelor party.
Andy, I do what the fuck I want to do. We do it. We party. We do. Don't make me explain. Like,
I don't know
what
about
rule-
this.
But as far as like going out of town with fucking swinging dicks, I can't do that. No way.
It's
Okay.
a bachelor party. It's
If
your cousin.
my buddy,
it's your
if
best
my buddy
friend.
wants to go to a out of town with 10 dudes, I'm just not going. I'm not going. If you want to golf for the day and we're chilling out, I'll go to that. But if you're even going to Lake of the Ozarks with 15 dudes and you're renting a boat and I'm not in control of what's going on, I ain't going. Even though if I love you,
Why do you have to be in control over it?
Because it's just like you're waiting around. You walk into a bar, everybody's staring at you. You got 15 fucking dudes, and one guy's wasting. You're like, yeah, look at. I'm not doing it.
Like I
never did it. I'm not doing it.
Listen, I'm not into like the all-out bachelor parties.
I don't do it
either. But I mean, I
don't do
will
it.
go. But I'm not like testosterone driven, crazy. Like,
I can look at you like, and I know you're
let's
not.
go.
It's not about you. It's about who your buddy's doing it.
Well, you just kind of got to go. You just got to chill in the back and just be cool. Like,
chill in the back. I'd probably leave them and probably just
that's what you
hang
do.
out with other people I know.
No, then you leave.
But then you're a dick.
Then you Houdini.
But then you're a dick.
No, they know. They know.
No, they don't know.
They're
like, where's? Oh, they might not care when you leave. But if I'm not there, they're like, "Where's Cam?" Like, we. I'm like, "No, I don't want to be here. I don't do it, and it is what it is." Do I sound like a dick? I don't really care. I tell people that I don't go to that. I don't even go to weddings. The only reason why we're going to this wedding, we love our neighbor Wes, who's awesome, but he's getting married like a
right
quarter
down
mile
the street.
Up the street. And
so you're gonna go?
I have to go get like clothes because none of my clothes.
Did
fit
he
me
have
anymore.
a bachelor party or no?
Yeah, he invited me to it. He went to South Carolina. I told you I don't fucking
Well,
go.
I can understand that one.
I even said it on the radio.
You probably don't know all his buddies and stuff like
no,
that.
that fucking didn't matter.
Well, no, but you're not going to South Carolina for anything.
I'm not going anywhere with 10 swinging
I could
dicks.
invite Cam. I could say, hey, listen, you and your girl have your own condo, whatever, right on the water in Florida. Like, he still won't go.
He'll
be like, dude, I'm chilling in my backyard.
I need to be in control of what the fuck we do because I know how to have. I know what's best for me. I know where to go. I don't want anybody setting anything up and hanging out. I don't have kids. I know what's fun and where to go with whatever. I'm in control. If I'm not in control, I don't like to be there.
You got to spread your wings a little bit.
Now, if it's a fantasy camp, but again, the group that we go with, we're in control of our thing. I know I sound like whatever, but I think a lot of people can relate to that. I really do.
And a lot of people, can
relate to it.
But you're close friends. Now, you just got to be there, man. You got to show up sometimes. It's like
we do a lot.
I'm not saying literally show up.
I went to the wedding.
I'm saying you have to. Like if it's a big game, dude, you got to show up. You got to be there for your teammates. You got to play.
I'm not on the team.
You got to show
teammate's his
up
wife.
for your cousin, dude. You can't just say no. You got to show up.
I went to my cousin's wedding.
Bachelor party's different.
We had a bachelor party. It was four of us at his lake house.
I had 2 different bachelor parties.
Yeah, you probably would.
Yeah.
Swinging dick motherfuckers. You guys are probably so fucking embarrassing. I would have fucking left that joint in 2 seconds. You guys walking in like, hi, we're here. He's getting married. I'm like, oh, God, get me out of here. Yeah. I don't know them. Out the door, fucking gonzo, dude.
Yeah, we had one in California and one here.
How much money you make your buddies spend on you in California?
Well, no, because I went to college out west, so all my friends from college live out in that area of the country, so it was easy for them to get to. I was one. So
How many swinging dicks?
I think there was like 9 or 10 or something like that.
Oh, disgusting! It's a nightmare.
It was cool though.
What'd you do?
We went camping.
What?
On the water, dude.
That's sexy, dude.
No, on the water. Well, that was one of the nights. That was one of the nights.
Oh my God,
dude! But it was like
I've seen that movie before.
that was one of the nights. You gotta understand, everybody's very
cool,
very outdoorsy, and whatever. So
right.
it was different. The one here,
that's sad.
The one here was like, and then
what'd you guys do? Marshmallows?
No, none of that.
Walk the beach and shit.
No, like
did you go
there
hunting?
was like 10 people.
Was there manly things that you did?
Well, I mean,
is there one man? You didn't have any weapons on you, so what'd you guys do?
Well, may have had a knife or something.
Andy,
there may have been a knife
10
or 2
dudes,
involved.
like, what are you doing?
Well, you just go chill out, whatever. You never been on a camping trip? In the redwoods, like up in northern California,
back in the day.
in like the Redwood National Forest, dude, it's amazing.
I get that.
I mean, it really is. Like, you got to hike into it. You're in like an amazing, one of the most beautiful places in America.
Did you guys swim at night?
No, none of that. There's no swimming.
Did you guys play games?
No games. No games.
What'd you do at night?
We just whatever. Went to sleep. Really, when you're camping, dude, the sun goes down, you crash.
Yeah.
I was getting my tent. You know,
is there anybody else in the tent?
No,
like, I'm saying, like, you have your own tent?
No, I have my own tent. People had dogs and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that was the one out there.
Fucking nightmare to me.
The one here, I think everyone went to like the horse track, and then they went to the strip clubs because it was right next door.
That's not very nice. I mean, like you got to have respect.
But that's not really my thing.
I don't like the rippers.
I'm not
either.
like a big.
Andy, I don't like the rippers.
Dude, I'm just not a big bachelor party.
Shit, I didn't even do the rippers when we want. I don't like the rippers, man.
I've been to bachelor parties like in Colorado where you go like on a brewery tour. And you hit like a bunch of different breweries and stuff like that.
That still sounds fucking terrible.
I know, because if you're on the bus, you can't get off the bus.
I just rather like, if I'm going to go with my buddies, like I take like 5 of them and do like a fucking ski trip. I do that, or like fucking chill in one area.
The same thing, dude. It was in Colorado.
Yeah, but I'm not sleeping with them in a goddamn camping ground with 10 dudes. That's like more your military buddies, like fucking couple cats. Like, let's go. I got some guys with some weapons that can take care of me. But you got 10 dudes with you. I'm like, I don't know.
That's just kind of what you do. I don't know. Not everybody wants the crazy, listen, I've been to bachelor parties in Scottsdale, Arizona, where like
I'd rather have a ski
bring whatever back to the hotel, and like it just gets like way too crazy. That's way too crazy.
And that's a different,
you know what I'm saying?
That's a different style.
It's
too.
to each their own.
I don't want to like set myself in a hole before you get married either. But yeah, like I think a cool bachelor party would be 5-6 cats. Get that fucking badass ski out of Breckenridge.
Get a side by side.
No,
is that what you want to do? Get a side by side. That's what you want to do for your bachelor party.
We did it on a Tuesday night. So I'm saying,
a boat.
No, even like the water thing. I'd rather go ski out in Breckenridge in the middle of like the winter time. Go fucking cruise, have some good dinner, ski, fucking sit in I don't know, that kind of shit.
We did all that too.
You're in the middle of woods.
Well, we didn't do skiing.
You're in the middle of woods, sleeping in a tent with
everyone has their own.
No, I don't believe that.
A lot of people don't even sleep with tents, dude. You don't even have to have a tent. You can sleep outside under the stars, man, which I like to do sometimes too. Seriously, under the stars.
Until that rains.
Yeah, if it rains. Well, you just got to know the forecast. Put your rain cover over your tent, you're in good shape.
Yeah, I get that, but it still drips down, and it's still pretty difficult to deal with.
It is what it is, man. That's the outdoors.
I know. You're such an outdoorsy guy. I know. I mean, all right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. What else?
God, we went on a tangent.
What else do you look forward to? Anything else coming up soon?
Yeah, hockey season. Like, this is great because it's so fun watching NFL, man. I love watching NFL. It's so easy to watch. College football is very tough to get into, but the NFL's, there's so many different storylines.
Why is the NFL so popular?
It's just because every team has its own storyline, and most of the time it's negative, or most of the time it's somebody did something, or most of the time it's like betting, or I mean, there's so many different variables.
Do you think the NHL, like players, for like their media training, should like look at what athletes do in other sports, like how they kind of promote their brand and whatever? Like,
you tell me those good old boy linemen aren't saying they're saying the same bullshit every fucking time.
They are too, man.
They're all saying.
I've actually noticed that.
It's only the diva wide receivers that fucking like talk shit.
But
it's
just they're all saying it's celebrated more because it's on Sports Center all the time.
Every day something,
and you've got like all the talking heads, Stephen A. Smith and all these cats, man. That's all they talk about.
If the NHL was
so
as
they're
popular
like
as
famous,
NFL, exactly.
You know?
So if the NFL, or I'm sorry,
stars.
Some of these NHL stars say funny shit, it just doesn't get reciprocated throughout who cares about Canada? Sorry, we love you, Canada, but we're talking about down here.
Because it doesn't matter what they do, they're going to be
you could be the biggest dog in Canada. It doesn't matter. Like you need to be big dogs down here, and I think everybody knows that. And the big dogs are the fucking NFL cats, man. It's not even the MLB guys. It's the fucking NBA, NFL motherfuckers. And even if they're just like their quote will get boosted by so many more millions of people that just watch it at the airport, at the office, at this and that. ESPN's on everywhere.
Well, because you and I have talked about this. Like, whether you're a player, you could be in the media, whatever you are, you could be an agent, whatever, and you live in Canada, like, you have this false, like, perception, false reality of how big you really are. It's, you know what I'm saying?
If you're big in the U.S., that's all that matters. I'm sorry.
Well, no, because you can come down to the U.S., like, no one even knows.
But the money's here.
I've talked to a lot of players about that, too. The players know it, because especially the players that come down and play in the States,
if you're a big dog in hockey in Canada, like, you're a big dog.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're a big baseball player in Canada,
you're not a dog. Well, you're not a big. Sure you are.
Sure you are. You're still making your money. But being a big dog in the U.S. is everywhere.
Correct. But people will know who you are and
my
whatever.
Point is, if you're a big dog in the U.S., Canadians know it. If you're a big dog in the U.S., Swedes, Italians, they all fucking know. If you're a big dog in Canada, U.S. doesn't know it. Maybe somebody, I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know about that.
Hockey-wise, okay.
Yeah,
but other sports, like,
it's
not as...
What if you're a big dog on, like, the Toronto Raptors? Where, like, when, like, the Raptors have success, everybody in Canada is, like, tuning in.
I just don't think it was...
on with the Raptors.
Yeah, I just don't think it's as big. I mean, NBA is big down here, so you're watching it one way or the other. But it's just, it doesn't help you being up there, I'd say, as far as market-wise. Like, there's a big market, 7 million people or whatever it is in Toronto, but I don't know.
Well, you know, like Tragically Hip, for example, like one of the biggest bands in the history of Canadian music.
Rush.
But like Rush became famous
Down here.
in the States. Tragically Hip is kind of like
I remember there's some badass bands
very
up there.
associated with the with the Canada, the fabric of Canadian life. You know what I'm saying? They're so popular up there.
I'm just saying, if you're big in the U.S., you're big everywhere. You might be big in a different country. You might not be over here. But if you're big, like Rammstein, I'll give you an example. They came over here and they fucking
Who?
Rammstein metal band.
Oh,
badass German band.
Nobody knows who they are.
Yes, they do.
Nobody knows.
Yes, they do.
They play like scary music. It gets a little intense.
Du Hast. You've heard it a billion times at the.
Oh, I probably have heard it.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I just don't know.
They made an American tour in like '98, and it is what it is. Okay, whatever. U.S. has their fucking problems, but it's good to be big down here. I mean, that's simple. Unless you're a soccer player, doesn't matter.
Soccer, you can be big everywhere.
Yeah, but like in soccer, if you're big, you're not big here in soccer. Isn't that weird? You have the most money, you have the most players. Why is the fucking U.S. national team not big? Like, isn't that weird? You have all the money.
I don't know why the U.S. national team on the men's side has never been able to be like super competitive.
You have every resource possible. Andy, we all play soccer. Every fucking guy, just like in Canada, they play baseball. In the U.S.,
Ty had his first soccer game yesterday. Listen,
soccer.
And my daughter who plays soccer, like
name me one big soccer star in the U.S. Go ahead.
Donovan.
He's been retired.
I know, he's been retired.
If we're having this discussion, that's a point. And you guys could all like...
But like Mia Hamm is like
she's
everybody
awesome.
knows who she is.
Yeah. But why is that? God damn, you go over to Europe and play, man. These guys are fucking
Rapapone.
Rapino.
What's that? How you pronounce it? Rapino. She's pretty big. Even the WNBA stars, like, they become like more household names, some of them.
Because they're... back by the NBA, and they're on ESPN.
I know.
Like, no one watches that, let's be honest.
Now hockey's going to be on ESPN.
No one watches the WNBA. You know one person that watches the WNBA?
Oh, I'm sure I do.
Do you know one person?
Oh, I'm sure I know a few.
No, you don't.
Oh, I'm sure I know a couple. I mean, there's got to be several. I mean, somebody's watching it.
I know a ton of people. We talked to a ton of people. I've never met one person.
Do you think baseball players
are
like famous in the United States still? The way it used to be.
Not at all. Mike Trout, you wouldn't even fucking... If Mike Trout walked around West County Mall, that I'm about to do, with my stupid shorts on...
Now, you got to be careful, dude.
I have
like where you make sure you like lock your doors. You got to look around.
No shit.
And stuff like
I know.
That. Are you nervous?
That's why I
about
live 30 minutes past that. No, because Kate's with me. I'm good. Because I wore stupid ass clothes. My feet smell bad. I'm really nervous about getting like...
You got to buy new shoes today?
And the girls
you got to try shoes
on?
They're
like, Cam, let me like measure your... Get away from me. Get away from me.
Oh, is Kate going with you?
I wouldn't go.
Dude, I should just hook you up with my suit guy. You should go get a suit made.
Oh, God. I'm actually really, like, kind of nerve-wracked to do it because I just look so stupid. I didn't know I was supposed to go. And then Kate's like, we have to get stuff for this. And I'm like, my feet smell,
You don't have
Andy.
a suit at home?
Man, I'm too fat.
And like a dress shirt?
Yeah, I'm too fat for it, I think.
What have you been eating?
Well, I skated all weekend with the fantasy camp.
How'd that go?
It was great.
You hadn't skated in a while. I was worried about your conditioning, really.
I fucking dominated, and I felt pretty good.
How was the competition?
I denounced myself a lot.
How was the competition?
I mean, really good. We got killed.
Really?
Yeah. Losey and me and a couple cats. They were pretty good, but I lost some weight. I don't have any clothes to wear, man. Like, I don't have any, like, I'm wearing the same shit every fucking day, and I got to go to the... I refuse to go, and my weight fluctuates, so I have to get measured. And I just get nervous because it's always a cute girl, and they're always like, me. And then I'm like, I can smell my feet, I can put fucking baby powder in it. And then I'm like, And then I sat in something. You thought I shit my pants, but it was
oh my God,
it was
dude.
a chocolate.
He gets out of his
thing.
truck today, and he's got like chocolate all over the back of his shorts. I'm like, what is going on here?
It's embarrassing. And then I'm like,
and we're in a very professional building. Like, I can't be seen with you looking like that.
I know.
Cam.
I know what you want to do. I'm like, Kate, can you buy this for me? She's like, I can't do it. You have to come.
I'm
with
getting
me.
text messages saying, hey, can you guys please be quiet out in the hallway?
It's always like good looking women too, and they're like coming close to you, and they're like,
everyone in our building thinks we're a little loud. You know that.
Well, I told you I'll do it from my fucking basement.
I know you're not doing that.
Well, then
not doing that.
If people keep bitching at me, then I'm not leaving my house.
On this edition of the Cam Strick Podcast presented by HairClub, we've got AJ Galante, dude.
AJ.
Did you watch the documentary?
Yes, Andy.
I kept asking you to watch it. I was like, dude, you got to watch
Kate
it.
and I both
did you picture yourself playing in that league?
I was in American League, baby. I was in American League.
Was the American League kind of going crazy like that at the same time?
Dude, I was drafted, so I had to play in American League.
No, I know. And there was no NHL season that year.
I was signed and drafted, and so Lou's like, no, you're playing in the American League. And I'm like, fucking right. And it was the best league going at the time, so I wouldn't want to play in that league. And not to mention, all the real bad boys were in American League at the time. I know Morassi and some of the shit-kicking motherfuckers were in the U for a bit, but then they went right up to the fucking bad boy club. And that was the 04 American League lockout year. And all the shit-kicking motherfuckers know that was the baddest of the bad, baby.
So listen, we've got AJ on, who's like the son who was like made general manager, maybe even president of the team, whatever, as a 17-year-old. So he obviously was a huge star in the documentary. He's great on this podcast. People are going to absolutely love this. Super cool.
Oh my god,
super cool. We want to talk to the dad too, and apparently the dad has been told, based on like legal advice and whatever, not to do interviews and stuff like that. So we'll have to be patient and wait for that time to come when we can talk to the big man Jimmy Galante. But when you watch the documentary, how would you explain it like to people?
I'd explain it like a fun. An entrepreneur, a 17-year-old. Here's how I look at it: a kid that had no chance of being successful, and had guidance and had money. Okay, so that's the two biggest things. And the guidance wasn't great because his daddy didn't know what the fuck he was doing either. Let's be honest here. He knows how to run companies, but when you run a hockey team, it's a completely different animal. Well, you throw this kid into a fucking circus, and he's looking like the way he is. And the first time you look at him, the way they presented him at the very beginning, you're like, oh my God. But he figured it out. So his dad knew his son, and although optic-wise...
But they were doing crazy stuff throughout the time they owned it. I would disagree with you from this standpoint.
Let me say, I'm not even done. He figured it out. Like, he figured out how to be an entrepreneur.
He did. I would say, like, if you're a successful business owner and a successful businessman, you can 100% run a professional sports team. But it's like the hockey side of it is kind of what you're talking about. Like, you don't, like, know, like, the game or like how to like put together a scouting staff and all that type of stuff. Not that they have that at that level, but you still have to find players, man. You still got to like know people and be connected throughout the hockey world
17 years
to
old.
find players.
Like I remember when I was 17, I was in Canada being crazy. Like this kid's just like, oh, okay, let's find this guy.
When I was 17, I'm trying to think, what was I doing?
You're probably fucking doing all kinds of crazy stuff and beating guys up and doing this. Yeah. I was going on float trips with 10 dudes.
No, that's my bachelor party.
Nightmare.
But that's what you do. Like, what are you supposed to do?
I say no.
It's a bachelor party.
All right, well, don't invite me.
All right, so let's get to this interview. We go long with AJ, so let's keep this a little bit short. I don't even know if this is short, but we'll get to AJ Galante. People are going to obviously enjoy it as they always do.
We love you. Sorry we went on a rant. We love all you guys.
Hey, as always, the Cam Strick Podcast brought to you by CarShield, carshield.com, 800-857-8421, baby.
Yeah.
800-857-2481. And give them a call today and just set yourself up. Do not be stressed out. Like, live carefree. That's my message to people today. Just live carefree. Don't be stressed.
Well, I mean,
take
that with a grain of salt.
Don't be worried about things happening because you know what? Sometimes they take care of themselves. Like when you have protection from CarShield. So if something goes down with your car, man, don't be carrying that extra weight in the back of your mind. Because if it does, then all of a sudden you're protected by CarShield. They take care of it. So if your alternator goes out, your starter, your engine, your computer, your brakes, whatever, guess what? You're protected by CarShield. They will take care of it all. They'll let you send it to whatever mechanic you want to send it to, whoever you want to work on your car, and then they also hook you up with the rental car, dude. It's like too good to be true, and you don't have to pay out of pocket because you're protected from CarShield. Mention that promo code CAM, and you're going to save 10%. With CarShield and carshield.com. So do that and do that today. Of course, Bellman.com, BEHLMANN.com. You talk about a good day trip. That's a good place to go. Head on down to Troy, Missouri. Check out their incredible facility. You talk about the Cadillac, the Buick, the GMC on one side of the street in Troy. On the other side, Cam, what do you have? Chrysler,
Dodge,
Jeep, Ram. They got Buicks on the other side of the street.
I like them Buicks.
Yeah, you'll walk over there back. Where's the Buick? They're going to send you. It's okay. You just go right across the street. No big deal.
Fucking T. Woods. He likes that Buick.
Yeah, Tiger Woods. Well, he likes that.
He likes
a Hyundai, I think. Didn't he have a Hyundai?
Fuck him.
No, he used to have the Buick.
He said that
when he got in his accident, he was driving a Honda.
Whatever, because when he was a pimp daddy, he was driving a fucking Junior.
Oh, I want to remind people, we had our contest, for those people, you can still get your last second reviews into us. You got to DM our Instagram account. And Brody's going to pick the winner, I think, tomorrow, maybe the next day. I don't know. And we'll reach out to you, whoever won. We'll announce the winner on the podcast and all that stuff coming up next time. So, or we'll do it on social media.
Yeah, still on social media. I think that's what it is.
Bellman.com. They want to buy your car. So,
good.
So, like your truck, I saw you roll in today. Like it's time.
It looks a little, it's time. It's paid off.
It's time. It's paid off.
Okay,
how long ago did you pay that thing?
I don't know, like 4 years ago.
Actually, looks pretty nice.
It's fine.
It looks nicer than.
It drives like a Cadillac.
You have like chocolate covered leather on the inside. Not because you sat in chocolate the whole way.
Chocolate looks like I shit my fucking
But that's
pants.
the color of the seats. It's like brown. It's not like baseball glove color.
It's a high country, Andy, which is
is that what it is?
Good kind.
Oh, okay, good. So,
what do you drive? A fucking hippie ass Volkswagen or something?
The Volvo.
Volvo.
Yeah,
that's such an in between fuck
SC90.
car. It's such a like hippie in between.
Did you know?
I'm like, am I wealthy? Am I not?
Dude,
what am I? I'm trying to be cool.
It's the R design, the R series.
That's cool.
Yeah,
fuck. That's
the racing
badass.
series?
Yeah.
It's the racing series. It goes a little extra fast.
Whoa. I bet.
You gotta slow down sometimes. You
Dang, boy.
You get a
be
little,
careful.
You get a little too fast there. You get a little lead foot.
Shit kicker.
So, you can check out the Volvos too. But, like, they don't have those at Bellman. Bellman has the Cadillac, the Buick, the GMC.
They got bad boys.
I'm looking at that Escalade anyway, man. Danny Boy knows that.
Keep looking.
Come on, Dan. We got to make that happen. On the other side, the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Check it out. They want to buy your used car. Dale is there. They got the best customer service anywhere with our boy Dale over there and everybody else that is working in the parking lot there at Bellman.com. Best customer service ever.
I agree
Would you agree with that?
Yep. Your girl can go buy a car and feel comfortable.
Yeah, they feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what else is comfortable? Ty over the weekend wore his Daredevil hockey gear.
Good.
Very comfortable. And
So did I
again,
over
you
the
talk.
weekend.
Oh, did you wear it over the weekend?
Goddamn right.
How'd that
and
look?
I had some motherfuckers Leos were out there, a couple of them.
Were they?
Stepping over my fucking ass. And I'm like, you mother.
So
lucky I have my hands
So
still.
listen to this. So I'm out there on the ice, and they've got these pads that they put on the ice. These big long black pads that kind of divide the ice.
Yeah. The pucks hit
zones.
and they come back. Yeah.
So I'm standing there, and this kid, I guess, fell in the other zone, goes sliding right into the pad, takes my legs out. I go, fall backwards, hit the ice very, very hard. I mean, very hard. I didn't miss, any. I was coaching, so I had no equipment on or anything like that. So I fall backwards, hit the ice. So Steve Ott
laughed at you?
Found the video. There's video.
Oh, really?
And sends it out, and people are like,
can we put a montage together? You getting rocked?
Laughing about
seriously.
Listen, I mean, you know what? Good thing I landed on the padding. I didn't get hurt.
Well, you're an athlete.
Yeah, well,
that's why.
It could have been ugly, Cam, just so you know. Just so you know, it could have been
Well,
ugly.
we're going to find that video of you getting rocked, you falling down. There's a ton of it. Because you get, when you're at Sin Team, baby, you're under camera.
I know. The referee skated on my arm years ago. I think it was junior year.
I'm sure this story's really good.
Right off the face-off when the referee skated on my arm. And
well, it was a high-quality game.
And there was a doctor in the stands that came and looked at it.
Well, there's a bunch of doctors.
Yeah.
A bunch of wealthy people are watching you play back in the day.
And he came and looked at it, and he's like, you need some stitches. But I went back out and played a little bit.
Yeah, we've never done that.
You just got to play through it sometimes.
Never done that when I was 9 years old.
So anyway, Daredevil hockey, man, that is the ultimate protection. If your kid is in danger of a skate laceration, it's no good. I can promise you that. You don't want that. It's the number one cause of emergency room visits anywhere. So listen, get your kid protected. I'm kind of not having it right now, Cam. These parents, do I need to convince you to make sure your kid is protected? Is that what we have to do? Do we have to convince them?
Yeah, no, just protect your kid. You do it with everything else that you buy. This is not that expensive. And the hardcore places that the gloves don't get, that the
vulnerable
areas, that the Achilles, shit, all that shit, man.
You want your kid to end up in the emergency room?
I know.
Ask yourself that.
Sometimes,
no. Listen. You be the parent. I'll be the person. Do you want your kid to end up in the emergency room?
Yes, I do.
You do.
I like when my kid does that. It doesn't stress my family out.
You want your kid to bleed everywhere?
Yes.
You want him to be in danger of having an artery.
He needs to learn his
severed?
lesson, Andy. Okay. He needs to bleed out once in a while.
You need to have some Daredevil hockey. Is what you need.
Man.
Use that promo code Cam Strick. All caps, baby. You're going to save some money. Get to Daredevil hockey today. And I'll tell you what. You purchase that bad boy kit. You get the uppers and the lowers. Send us a picture of that. We'll put that on Instagram, too.
Hell yeah.
Take a picture of you doing that. All right, man. I'm sure when you were at Fantasy Camp this past weekend, you saw a few local legends, dude. A couple local legends floating around. Did you?
Yeah, I did. T-Twist was out.
T-Twist.
It's like seeing a fucking
He
grizzly
didn't
bear.
skate, did he?
No. He just got, he got bashed pretty hard in the fucking.
Did he?
Kinda. I kind of felt bad for him a little bit.
Well, yeah, like you shouldn't.
I'm like, it's like a grizzly bear coming out of hibernation.
Yeah.
And we pump him up, and all of a sudden he gets fucking bashed all the time.
Was he upset about that, you think?
I don't know.
Couldn't tell.
I snuck out of there, man. I was
did you?
Yeah.
I told you that's what you do. Like, it's no different than a bachelor party, dude. You just gotta.
Andy,
you
why are you
acting
like you're telling me shit?
Like,
I've been Houdini
I gotta
for
tell
fucking
you
50.
how to like handle yourself when you go out. Like you don't know anymore. Like, I don't understand what happened.
What do you mean
to
I don't know anymore?
Well,
I
you just leave.
No shit.
And then your car got towed. Your truck got towed.
Yeah. No, they figured out who it was, and they put me in a nice little spot, and we picked it up this morning.
Oh, so they didn't tow it?
No, they put it right in front.
Yeah, you told me they were going to tow it. I'm like, dude,
I didn't know at the time. I was pretty hungover.
That wouldn't happen to like
not to me.
Pronger, Big Wall, like it wouldn't happen to any of those guys.
I'm sure. No, they didn't tow it, idiot. Good God.
Thank God they didn't. Hey, Local Legend Clothing Company, man. You've seen us wear the hats. Check this out. Local Legend, ever-evolving brand. And they put the spotlight cam on local legends. So we try to bring positivity to the communities that they call home. So give me an example of like what a local legend would be.
Well, you're looking at one, baby. I mean, you are looking at one. First kid ever.
Well, they're everywhere,
Let's fucking
you know?
go. Shit kicking motherfucker. Yeah, no, there's tons, man. Even high school kids, high school girls. A girl that I'll give you an example. Some girl the other day.
A WNBA star?
No. Like, you love the WNBA.
Well, there's local legends everywhere.
Well,
there.
maybe her too. But this young
Lisa
girl,
Leslie.
she might have been a basketball player. I don't know, but knows a softball player. This girl, and although I kind of like don't want her to do this kind of shit, but they're in Eureka, and I believe they're in Eureka, and she's a softball player, and she looks around, and she looks at her bus, and they're playing a different team, and some motherfucker goes in her bus, and starts stealing all their shit.
No
she
way.
runs after the guy and tackles him.
No,
I know.
Is this on video?
I don't know.
Where did this happen?
But I'm like, girl,
she's a local legend.
I know,
lady legend,
badass biatch.
I love the lady
you,
legends.
girl. You're badass.
Where
all
was
the
she?
Oh,
what city was this in?
I think it was like near Eureka, which I'm telling you,
she went and caught him on the bus. What do you think she did to him?
She shit kicked him.
Really?
But all the other, well, if that was a grown man, I think it was a young kid. But I think it was as a grown man, like you don't want to do that, homegirl, because they'd be like, "What, girl? Get on with yourself."
You never know, dude.
I mean,
now
she's
you
like
got
100
that
pounds.
competitive fire inside of you,
Andy,
dude.
maybe if you were doing it, but like a grown man, like that girl was coming by me, like,
did you see who it was? I mean,
no, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure.
Judge a book by its cover,
Andy. If you're 100 pounds, you ain't doing nothing. Okay, I'm just saying.
Remember how I talked to you about like when the adrenaline kicks in,
Andy.
and you can like lift the car off
Their
that
adrenaline's
baby?
going too when you get caught doing something cray.
Oh,
so
yeah?
just remember that.
Yeah, you're probably
so
scared.
You can go your adrenaline against that 230
people who are
pounder.
stealing, who are doing crazy stuff
Their
like that.
adrenaline's
They're
going
probably
too.
scared.
And they're probably fucking methed out too. So I don't want my
Does
daughter
meth
doing that.
make you stronger?
Yeah, it does.
Does it?
You're goddamn right it does.
Local legend, man. Aspire to make everybody who is meant to be a local legend exactly what they are, man. You may have been raised by one. It may have been your football coach.
My daddy was.
My defensive backs coach was.
Okay. Look, we've
no,
been doing it's a long library. It's already a long library.
He was amazing back in the day.
Andy,
hey, check out
I already talked about a meth fucking.
BeALocalLegend.com and use that promo code STRICK.
Badass.
And you'll get 10% off your entire
Might
order.
get laid.
Check them out on Instagram at BeALocalLegend. Might?
You might get laid.
The Lady Legends.
I know Strick.
Don't forget about the Lady Legends, dude. Don't forget about the lady. Use that promo code STRICK.
Shit kicker.
And you'll save 10%, man. So we thank Ryan for jumping on board and being part of the Cam Strick team. All right. How about my custom sports chair? Dude, this thing is unbelievable. I'm hooking Cam up with that New Jersey Devils one.
Should.
You can put the name and the number on the back. You customize it. Any league, any sport. You're an NFL fan. You're an NBA fan. College football, college basketball. Even the CFL, if you're into that up there in Canada. Like, name your favorite like CFL team.
I like the Rough Riders.
Which one?
And my second favorite one's
the
the
Rough
Rough Riders.
Riders?
It's fucking badass.
Yeah.
You got 10 fucking teams up there. I love you Canadians.
Yeah.
You know that. And I chirp everybody. You had two goddamn...
What's the Calgary team? Is
the Hitmen. And you got another one.
No, that's
the
the
Hitmen
WHL
too.
team.
Oh, well, whatever. The Rough Riders.
Rough Riders.
No, the Eskimos.
No, it's like a bowl probably or something about the...
The bullshits.
The Toronto Argonauts.
Argonauts and the other Argonauts. Yeah. Look, guys, we love you to death.
The Stampede, maybe? I think
Stampeders.
I think that's what it is. Stampede.
We don't know.
Up there in Calgary.
I got enough to do down here.
Anyway, so pick it out, man. These are incredible for the holidays that are around the corner. Get your orders in now. And Cam and Strick is the promo code. It's going to get you free shipping. You're going to save a boatload of money on that, especially to our U.S. customers. Cam and Strick, free shipping on all orders. My Custom Sports Chair, our chair, your way. They have over 500 different designs. They can do designs for corporate clients, too. That's if you have your logo for your business and you want to create a chair, like these beautiful Adirondack chairs, 100% Canadian-made, Cam.
We love Canadians, and they make damn good shit. So I can't wait to sit in that bad boy with my name on the back. I want a Devils one because if I do a Blues one, it's kind of nerdy because you're in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. But you have a Devils one.
Not many people will have that here. You know, that's different. That's pretty good.
I want a Devils one.
Yeah, you should get one. My Custom Sports Chair manufacturers officially licensed resin folding Adirondack chairs. And they fold, too, Cam. It's resin folding Adirondack chairs. 100% Canadian-made, designed to last in any weather conditions. So, again, if you're in a snowy climate, rainy climate, whatever it is, I mean, it's going to last forever. So, again, like I said, over 500 designs. My Custom Sports Chair, baby. Our chair, your way. Mention that promo code Cam and Strick.
Yeah.
And they're going to hook you up. All right, this is the Cam and Strick Podcast presented by HairClub. Check them out, www.hairclub.com. AJ Galante. AJ Galante, what do they call, what would be like an Italian name?
Anthony Jr.
It's Anthony James.
Anthony
James Galante. Sit back and relax on this edition of the Cam and Strick Podcast, presented by HairClub. The Cam and Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. You know, nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and you know right off the bat you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now to the interview.
Hello?
AJ Galante.
Hey, fellas, how are you?
What up, big dog?
Were you inside the at the boxing place or what?
Yeah, I'm in the damn gym, and it's freaking. Believe it or not, it's hot in here. I can't give these guys AC. You can't spoil them, so it's freaking hot in this place.
They gotta sweat it all out, man. It's all good, but you just gotta give them a little water. You know the drill.
Yeah, man, they'll be all right. They'll survive.
Hold on. No air conditioning?
Andy.
For these guys, you turn the AC on over there for these poor fighters.
They're fucking bad boys.
You can't spoil them.
Hold on. What kind of fighters are we talking about? Is this is this boxing only?
UFC? We're predominantly boxing. We have a bunch of pros out of here, amateurs. We have a nonprofit for some of the kids here to come to the gym and stuff. Yeah. We do work with some MMA guys that come and work on their, hands and boxing skills here. Predominantly boxing and a little bit of kickboxing.
Hey, what about any hockey guys coming down to do a little hockey fight training? I know it's kind of like seeping out of the game a little bit, but shit, we do that all in St. Louis. Any hockey players coming in?
Well, I would listen, if we only had this, I don't know if they really needed that much training, but back in 2004, if we had this gym with the Trashers, that would have been some great cross marketing there. But, no, man, we deal with them. There is a Federal Hockey League team that's in here in Danbury, and they do come in here and, they train, work out, do a lot of conditioning and stuff. And, yeah, man. No, I would love it. Listen, it's a lost breed, and I love all the old enforcers. They could come down anytime, man.
It's still going on, baby.
The Federal Hockey League. That sounds like a prison league or something. What's going on there?
Yeah, no, they got a team now. They called the Danbury Hat Tricks. They they had a pretty good first year from what I was told, and then COVID kind of shattered last year, and then I think they're starting up again in October. But yeah, I've been down there a few times. It's a fun league, fun team, and it's just good to watch hockey continue over here.
Yeah, I hear you on that. How's your life, man? Where do you live? You doing well? I know you're probably fucking working your ass off because that's in your blood. I know your daddy's working his ass off. You guys been doing that since day one. But tell me your setup and what you got going. You comfortable?
Yeah, but listen, I'm never comfortable because if you're comfortable, that's when things start going wrong. I'm trying to really live in the moment more with all this stuff going on. But, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I try not to get too comfortable. But no, I'm still here in Danbury. My boxing gym is literally 2 minutes from the ice arena. So it's weird, you know. It's like, you know, for whatever the reason, the stars are always aligned that I've, you know, I'm always here, man. You know, it's always, you know, I had a lot of opportunity, you know, over the past few years to kind of move, maybe go to, you know, we're like an hour north of New York City. So, you know, basically everyone here, they end up moving, you know, sometimes people end up moving to the city for more opportunity, but and I'm just trying to build the, you know, our city up. You know, this is where I'm from, and you know, just keep building the little underdog city.
All right, so Danbury. I mean, whoever thought that, you know, like the Danbury Trashers would all of a sudden become the talk of hockey?
Yeah.
Kind of again, although a lot of people really didn't know what was going on because it was like inside the middle of the UHL. But what's life been like for you over the course of the last few weeks? Did you predict this? Did you think after you did the interview and the documentary was coming out that it was going to catch fire like this, AJ?
Absolutely not. I mean, you know, look, it's Netflix. I knew it would get views. Obviously, I knew people would see it, and but no, I don't know, man. I guess I live under a rock. I didn't really truly understand like how big a platform Netflix truly is. I mean, I know how big it is. I have it, obviously, but no, I didn't predict any of this. You know, I definitely it's becoming more than just a hockey story, which is interesting to me. You know, I mean, you know, hockey was always a love of mine, always. You know, and actually, Cam Jansen actually played a little part of me getting back into the interest of hockey after we lost the team. I'll get to that later. But
was it his skating? Man. Was it his hands?
Did I toe drag somebody, AJ?
I mean, was it his hockey sense? Let me guess.
Listen, let me tell you something. You know, when we lost the team, I said in the documentary, you know, after we lost the team in 2006, I mean, I didn't want to watch hockey ever again. I didn't want to talk about the trash. It was like going through a bad breakup. And, you know, a buddy of mine, one of my best friends, Steve Deep, he's a teacher in the Bronx. And one day I went over there with him. I don't remember when exactly it was, but Cam was playing for my Devils. You know, I'm a huge Devil fan, always was. And I'm watching a game and he's like, come on, let's watch. You know, my friend Steve is a, you know, great friend of mine. And he's like, come on, why don't you watch a hockey game with me? And I'm like, nah, man. I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, I don't want to deal with it. And then sure enough, I don't know who Cam got into it with. It was like a 7-minute fight. It was the greatest thing I ever saw. I was like, man, this Cam Jansen is insane. I was like, this is the longest hockey fight I ever saw in my life. And I remember I was like, wow, you caught a second win there. I don't know who you were fighting, but man, I'm like, oh man, that kind of re-sparked me a little bit. I'm like, oh wow, okay, I guess I can watch the Devils again if this guy's playing.
Yeah, we had a fun team, man. That was still like the kind of the Wild West after the lockout, you know. All the shit kickers kind of went into the American League in 2004, and then they kind of respawned. And yeah, man, I went out in Jersey, dude. I thought me and you partied together at least one time. I don't know. I saw you on the documentary. I'm like, God, he looks kind of familiar.
Well, there's a lot of guys that look like AJ.
Like, I fucking did.
A lot of guys look like AJ.
I've never seen him somewhere.
No, but yeah, no. And then, of course, you know, I obviously Mike Rupp's still a friend of mine. And when you guys got into that 3-on-3 off the opening face-off, I mean, that was just I was like, okay, now I'm starting to get back into this. You know what I mean? That was legendary. I'm like, oh, wow, this is bringing me back to, you know, when I was watching back in the 90s as a kid, you know, I mean, oh man, it was incredible. So yeah, Cam definitely plays a part in if my buddy, you know, if I didn't go to his house and he didn't kind of, you know, push me to watch a game that night, I don't know who the hell knows, but no, Cam's, you know, not because I'm talking, you know, he's always been a favorite.
Appreciate that, man.
Hey, and
what about Andy?
Andy, I love you too, man. Don't worry about it.
AJ, I thank you so much, man.
You wrote that article.
That means a lot. Hey, listen though, like, how did the documentary come about? Like, somebody just call you up one day from Netflix and be like, "Hey, we want to do this." Were you like, "What? I can't believe this!" Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, so, you know, a lot of people have been asking me that, you know, back in late 2018, it was like November, December 2018, I get a call from McLean Way, who's one of the Way brothers who produced this whole Untold series, all 5 episodes. And, you know, again, he's like, I want to talk to you about the trash. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. I mean, how many times are we going to talk about this team? You know, and then he's like, no, let me pitch it to you. So I gave him the respect. I'm always willing to listen. And, started pitching to me, you know, he had these 5 docs he has to do for Netflix. And, you know, he told me about Malice in the Palace, the Caitlyn Jenner thing, you know, everything. And he's like, we want to put the Danbury Trashers. And I'm like, I was just saying to myself, you know, how are you going to put a Trasher documentary with, you know, some of these other big names and stuff? And he's like, no, trust me, this is going to be the best one. Just give us a chance. And me and my dad talked about it. We mulled it over. We weren't sure, but, you know, we said, you know what, for legacy purposes and you know what, since he's been out, we never really spoken about the team or anything. We're like, maybe we can just put this to bed finally. And, you know, we did it, and they filmed about 2 years ago in 2019. And it was supposed to come out last year, but COVID obviously pushed everything. And, you know, here we are. And it's, I don't know if we put it to bed because it's just ignited again. It's like insanity what's going on.
Oh, well, it was unbelievable. And you were like the main star. And I look, dude, I'm not going to lie to you. When they first put that thing out and and you heard this a million times, but they clipped it the right way. And if you're in TV like Andy is and myself at times, and people could clip off different things and they could show you these small little clips, and you're like, you're already judgmental on somebody.
Of course.
And I'm like, this motherfucker. I'm like, oh my God. But then, dude, you start talking, and you're like, no, this is, and then they show you working. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I kind of like this guy. Well, he's really good with the guys. And they show you up there, and you're passionate, and this, that, and the other. But let me ask you, let me go back. And I didn't mean to go off on a tangent here, but like when you were young, growing up with your daddy, like, I know he spoiled you in ways, and it's hard to deny that, right? You got the fucking wrestlers coming over, although they weren't big at the time, but you know, and it's kind of weird. Triple H and China at the time did their thing, which is weird, and I know you're a big wrestling fan. But how was your growing up part? Your dad's stern, but he's respectful, and he loves that fucking respect. Like, you work for me, fuck, I'll take care of you kind of thing. Yeah. Did you know that as a kid? Like, how was it growing up with him?
You know, I tell you, so many people have been asking me about him and, you know, growing up. I got to tell you, you know, I would say I had a somewhat normal childhood, I guess. But at the same time, it was it definitely was different in ways. I mean, I tell people, look, my dad, and you're 1,000% right. I mean, I knew very early on I was very fortunate. You know what I mean? I know a lot of kids that didn't have, you know, what I had at times, but my dad always made sure I was humble. He always taught me. I mean, since 5 years old, most of my summers since 5 was spent at his office. You know, at 5 years old, I'd be playing with my Ninja Turtle action figures on his desk. You know, I don't even know what the hell I was doing there, but he was instilling in me a certain work ethic. And, you know, it's so true what you said. And growing up, I had to work probably doubly as hard to gain respect, because that's exactly what you said. The first thing is, oh, well, he's, you know, and look, it's undeniable, you know, when someone's a little more fortunate, you know, with maybe materialistic things and opportunities. But, you know, I always took that as a personal challenge to show people, hey, you know what, you're right. I didn't earn this. I didn't earn this at all, but I'm going to show them that I belong. You know what I mean? And it was always a even to this day, it's a very personal challenge to me. And I take it serious. And you know, I've been around all types of walks of life my whole life. And I'm very understanding of what it's like out there. And it's important to me that I always remain humble. I teach, you know, the kids at my gym the same thing. And that's what it's all about. But as far as my dad as a person, I mean, look, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better father. I mean, he would do anything, literally anything for me and my sister Candace and my family. And
but was it normal? Was it normal? Like, were you guys watching fucking Ninja Turtles together on a Saturday morning, or was it business shit, or was it just business?
You know what? It was. It's so weird. It's kind of a mix. But he never missed one of my games. You know, no matter what I was playing, especially hockey, never missed a game. You know, we'd watch, you know, look, growing up, we watched Seinfeld together, Yankees, you know, everything. But at the same time, at a very early age, I mean, even before the Trashers, it was very businesslike. You know, it was weird. It was like some days he felt like he was my boss, but at the same time, he's my dad. But he always found a way to balance it. It's very hard to describe. And when we came home, for the most part, he kind of just switched back to just being, you know, my dad.
All right. Well, what do you like when you hear like the word like mob or mobster or gangster or whatever? Like, how do you react to that? Like, is that who your dad was? Like, take us like inside like the real walls of the life you lived. Like, is that what it was? Like, was he a mobster?
Well, listen, look, one thing I've learned early on, especially locally, it's taken on a whole new life with this documentary. But locally, I mean, it's easy to pin names or categories on people. I mean, look, I grew up, I knew, you meet people, you know people. Where I'm from, look, everyone knows someone that knows someone. And it's kind of one of those things where we don't really talk about it. You know what I mean? It's not like we sat down and my dad said, this, that, and the third. I mean, it's just, there's certain things. I know it sounds strange from an outside perspective, but it wasn't anything talked about. I mean, look, my dad was a very hard-nosed businessman. He's very competitive, and he was a great father. But he was intense, for sure, definitely intense. But as far as like, all those labels and stuff, it wasn't anything we spoke about it in the house.
Put it this way, like people watch The Sopranos. Like, was that your life? Like you watched The Sopranos. Do you think of your own upbringing, how you grew up, the people around, all of that? Well,
listen, I'd be lying to you if I didn't sit there a few times and say, wow, that's kind of strange. You know what I mean? But at the same time, around here, I mean, I could, there's 100 guys that probably think it's about them. I mean, who the hell knows? You know what I mean?
You're 100% right, dude. Everybody I met when I lived there was part of something.
Yes, of course. I mean, especially around here. I mean, I don't know one Italian American who didn't think that show was about them. You know what I mean? So 1,000%. Who the hell knows?
Hey, I mean, we know Italians here. AJ, we know Italians here who think the show was about them. You know?
Dude, hey, well, you know what? You just never know.
But isn't that weird though, AJ? Like, fuck, it was a heat of Sopranos, 04, like, fuck, everybody it was like everything. And that's when I was over there too. Like, it was just like you meet certain people, like they all were a part of it. But on the other hand, though, AJ, don't get me wrong. You as a young kid walked into something and they're having a meeting and you're probably like, oh, what the fuck? Like something different, right? I mean, come on. Right?
Well, listen, I mean, look, since a young age, I'm telling you, 5, 6 years old, you meet people and, this is Uncle Ricky or this is Uncle Bobby. That's just how, look, that's just how it was, I mean,
but people in the Midwest don't get it though. Like we're all just we're in a fucking
that's foreign, man.
Dude, Andy brings up we're in the Midwest here, homie. And we're just talking specifically where Andy and are, but we're talking, we have Canadian folk, like they don't get it.
Big Italian community here though, man.
Yeah, but it's not the same, like it just the same mindset, especially from 2000 to 2010.
But when you're young, AJ, and like you're in that life, you're living it. Do you feel like extra protected? Like you walk with a little bounce in your step, knowing like who's around you.
What's up?
Well, look, it's one of those things where, it's undeniable when things get in the paper or, your classmates kind of look at you differently. They don't know what to say to you. It's kind of like, but again, I can't even explain it. There's so much things that just aren't talked about. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, but there are times, if my dad was in the paper, our family was in the paper, this was in the paper, definitely. I mean, you walk into school and you feel it. You feel it's different. You know what I mean? They kind of, it's like a baseball pitcher who's throwing a no-hitter. No one wants to go around him on the bench. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's just a weird, it's very hard to describe. I mean, the stigma was always out there. I mean, I've been hearing this, the majority of my life, to be honest. So, but yeah, I mean, it's very hard to, for people outside, this area, the tri-state area, it's just kind of how it is. I mean, you don't know, you're always taught, like, you don't know who you're speaking to, just be humble with people and that's it. You just gotta, just move very, very quietly and humbly.
Well, you know what? Andy did the same thing. So like you compare yourself, and I'm just let me give an example. Like Andy had to bust his ass and watch games and do his thing and bust his ass at Parkway North and try to play football, which he brags about all the time. But you walk into school, listen. You walk into school, You got your groove on. You got your look.
He's got the long.
You got your fucking look. You got your fucking necklace. You got your stride about
Jean
you.
shorts,
Don't you play me. I seen this damn thing. I know. And then all of a sudden you get this fucking hockey team. Like, don't act like you're not walking to school. Like, what the fuck? I'm Pimp Daddy, motherfucker.
I'm a hockey executive.
Don't act like the girls aren't like, what's he about? Like, why does he own this? Like, what? I want to hang out with him. I want to go to that place.
Listen.
Like, get out of here. Like, come on.
Listen,
come on.
I got to tell you, one of my biggest regrets, and one of my I swear to God, I'm not lying. My pants aren't on fire. Trust me when I tell you this.
I hear you.
I was in a relationship at the time when this whole thing happened.
Jesus.
And I'm telling you, I was a good boy. Trust me when I tell you. I definitely lost out on some real serious opportunities, if you get what I'm saying. And I tell you, that's one thing I will say. Had I known the whole thing was going to blow up in 2 years, I probably would have, I would have probably changed it. But man, I tell you, it's true, but it's different too. I mean, I tell you what, if this was going on now and I was 17 now with the social media and everything, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean,
jam, homie. You may be
I mean, it's just, it's crazy what's out there now. But no, man, I mean, honestly, I definitely didn't take advantage. Let's just put it that way.
Hey, what kind of car did you drive at 16? Yeah. And like, could you have your friends come over to the house? Like, were they allowed to come over and like just chill and hang out at your house? Sleepovers,
all that. We actually, our house was the sleepover house, really. I mean, we had, all we had PlayStation, we were sitting there playing NHL, whatever year it was, and wrestling games and stuff. But no, definitely. I mean, I had a great, small core group of friends, and it was fun, man. We had a good time. As far as a car goes, so let me put it to you this way. So we had kind of a share, a family. We had a family Escalade, let's just put it that way. And it just so happened that I was the one that seemed to call shotgun all the time, and I would have it and rolling around. What a little asshole. It was fun though. You know what I mean? It was Let me ask you something.
When the guys came over, you had your buddies over. Are you and your daddy's maybe out of town doing his shit, doing fucking business? Is he ever like, they can't go into the west wing of the house? They're not allowed to go because, like, I'd be fucking Snoopy.
Who was the babysitter? Who was coming over?
Like, if people are coming over, you're like, you can't go in here. Like, is there like shit you can't do, or are they this free range shit?
No, you know what? No, listen, and that goes back to what you say, the reputation. I mean, no one was looking to, go into rooms and we're running around, but there was a room. My sister used to play piano when she was younger, and we had like this area of the house where, we had this beautiful piano for her. She'd play, but it was ridiculous because it was like this white carpet, white walls. It was super like no one ever, when I tell you, I could probably count on my hands how many people actually like sat on those couches and stuff. There was that area of the house where it's like, it was just an unwritten rule. You just don't go into the white room, I guess they call it.
The white room.
And, it was crazy. It was like you didn't even have to vacuum the carpet because it's like no one went. I don't even know what the hell the point of that room was, but it was funny. But no, we all had a good time. Back in those days, you could actually have fun. You prank call people, fuck around, and it's just so different today.
Okay, hey, listen, we're gonna get into the hockey. I got a lot of hockey stuff for you, but last thing about like your upbringing, like did older kids or kids your age, was it kind of like the unwritten rule, like people don't fuck with AJ? Like, was it kind of known like that?
Stigma.
Did kids not mess with you because of what the repercussions could be?
Well, listen, when I was younger, I definitely, if you see some of the doc when I was little with those big ass glasses they had me in, I had a rough time. I had a very rough time when I was younger. I'll put it to you that way. And you know what? I did, look, I'm not going to cry about it, but I wouldn't call it bullied, but I got a lot of shit when I was younger. But, I just keep to my own. I wouldn't really say much. I wouldn't tell on anyone or anything. And then as I got older, I'll be honest with you, I snapped one day. A kid was busting my balls. I think it was 7th grade or something. And I yoked them up, man, and that was it. So that right there kind of stopped a little bit of it. And then, like you said, people hear things, they hear rumors or this or that, the stigma. But no, man, I mean, but then again, it was one of those things where I always felt doubly inclined to defend myself or to prove that, look, I'm not a little punk or anything like that. And I definitely didn't go around with a sign on my chest saying, I'm Jimmy's son, this, that. I just kept quiet, but there were times where, like anything else, it's like hockey, people will test you a little bit.
Yeah, I got pissed on, so don't worry about it. My dad got fucking pissed at me. I went home, my dad's like, what the fuck? And I had to take care of business. Raven. We've talked about it, Andy.
Raven, man.
Andy knows about Raven.
He had to go after Raven.
And then my daddy,
day.
we went toe to toe. Big ass man. He's probably like 25 years old at the time. But then we took him out to the house. It's all good. Can I say something about the doc, though? Can I say something about the doc? Your daddy's awesome. Fucking respect. I get that, like, back and forth with the fucking tough guys, man. I get that, dude. He respected them. They fucking warrior. I'll do my shit. I'll bleed for you. I'll take care of you. I love that. The one guy, I'm going to tell you one guy that just pissed me off, though.
Oh, yeah. You know who it was. Hey,
fucking,
why don't you guess?
Why don't you guess who it is?
Guess who it was that
who
he
the
didn't
fuck
like.
do you think it was?
Who pissed you off?
Who pissed me off? It was loud.
In the documentary.
Flashy and loud, and he pissed me off.
Who, T-Bone?
Yeah, T-Bone.
Is it T-Bone? Is that his name?
T-Bone.
The trainer?
The trainer.
He pissed AJ. I'm telling you, man. Like, he's like stealing sticks, breaking equipment and
putting
shit.
Vaseline on goalie pads.
I would have fucked him up.
Hey,
I would have fucked him up, AJ.
He left
I love
like
everybody.
6 hand towels for an entire team. The game's in Danbury, right? It's like 10 below.
AJ,
6 hand towels for the entire team.
You know I love you, AJ. We're having respect that he pissed me the fuck off.
Well, hey, listen, get in line, man, because back in those days, I mean, oh my God, he and look, I can't put it all on him. I'll be honest with you. There were times me and him would be sitting there eating McDonald's and like, all right, what are we going to do this week? Like, how are we going to, and sometimes he would just go over the top, but yeah, man, we would, there were a few players, I'll tell you, through those 2 seasons, a guy like Cam, they would try to, they weren't taking that shit. There was a kid, on Adirondack, Pierre-Luc LeBlanc, his name was.
Oh, my boy. That's my boy from the Devils, baby. Pierre-Luc, baby. Bad boy. He was a tough bastard, man. He came up they brought him in the second season, kind of answer to us, because that first season we were just bullying this team, and they had brought in Pierre-Luc and a couple other guys, but you could tell he was going further than just the UHL, like you could just see a guy that's gonna go places. Yep. But he was, he didn't take any shit. And, I'll be honest, I got a great memory. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember he was pissed about something that happened in the locker room, and he let it be known. I had a lot of respect for that guy.
All right, so listen, you're 17, and you're the general manager. People automatically assume, man, that like your dad's still running it, but he truly turned it over to you, right? You ran the team.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I get a lot of credit, and I appreciate it. I put in a lot of work. We definitely had a team around us, but I look at it this way. This is how I equate it. I look at it as I was the starting pitcher and he was the closer. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where, we worked in unison, but he kind of gave me my space to kind of run with things, whether it was marketing, the whole bad boy thing, or, the type of players, or, things like that. Obviously he had to sign off on everything. He was obviously extremely hands-on, but, yeah, we did a lot in unison. We were a great team.
What was your recruiting pitch to get guys to come there? Like, I mean, obviously, listen, I worked in that league, right, for a different team. I know every team's paying guys under the table. It's not like you're the only team in the league that was doing that. That's happening everywhere. But you guys may have been paying a little bit more than what some of these other teams were paying. So that was the difference. That gave you guys the edge. So what was your recruiting pitch to get some of these guys to come?
Well, listen, here's the reality. And someone said to me once, and they said, well, how good of a GM could he have been with the type of, money they were throwing around? And you know what? You're absolutely right. I mean, let's be honest here. I get a lot of credit, but at the end of the day, and I'm sure Cam will agree, unless a guy's going to be taken care of, I mean, there's a lot of different options. There's a lot of different options, obviously. So, I definitely agree with the notion that, hey, how good could AJ be with the type of pockets we were dealing with? I don't deny that, but it's all about knowing the right guys to throw the money at, and you can't have guys get comfortable once they get paid and things like that. Some guys get comfortable, and it's one of those situations where you got to make sure there's incentives. And we actually, truth to God, what we used to do, I used to, going into the second year, I would sit with our coach and we would go over projected depth charts and lineups and, who we wanted paired with who on line 1, 2, 3. And we'd say, like, listen, we would do a lot of bonus incentive based contracts where, if I knew a guy was looking to get 50 assists, we would put him with a guy with a sniper that we were trying to give an incentive of 25 plus goals. So it was important in those leagues. Now, guys are tripping over themselves to be the one who scores the goal. So
what about
we
fights?
Did a lot of, well, of course the fights. I mean, we had a lot of unwritten rules. I mean, it was one of those, we would have to go for at least 3 fights a game or 3 incidents a game. I mean, that was always the thing. And, look, it got crazy at times, but I mean, the people just fuck it. I mean, they I don't care what anyone says. I know the game's changed. And obviously there was over 10 years where I stopped watching the sport. And I mean, the skill is so much higher now. And it's so fast. I've been trying to keep up with it now, but I don't care what anyone says. If people say they don't like the fighting, they're probably lying. I really believe that.
Well, they're probably a young kid or something that just didn't grow up with it, and that's all good because it's still going to be there.
And that's what I tell people. Look, the sport is different, but different doesn't necessarily mean better or worse. It's just different. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
but no 4 though. But a no 4 though was hardcore, right? During the lockout.
Oh yeah.
The baddest ass league in the whole game was the American League that year with all the shit kickers in it. But so you had a bunch of guys that come through there, like Morassi, and then big fucking Stevie fucking McIntyre come through there, baddest dude on the block. I don't know if maybe he was after your time or whatever it is. But did you have to pay some of these cats for fighting, and all of a sudden maybe you pay a guy and they just wrestle a guy down? Like, was there any weird instance where like, okay, we got to like explain this a little bit more.
That wasn't a fight. You don't get a bonus for that.
You fucking throw a guy down like a pussy.
You got your ass kicked in that fight. I'm not paying you shit.
I know, no, not the ass kicking. More like I'm gonna fall down and not do it, but get a fighting major. Did that kind of shit happen?
Listen, you know what I learned, and again, I peaked my playing career. I peaked as a senior in high school. Okay, so I played very low level hockey growing up. When I grew up, I never really, when I got a lesson, hands-on lesson my first year with the Trashers of the code, right, Cam? Like there's a code with enforcers. I'm learning as I go. I didn't play juniors. I didn't play up in Canada. I didn't know. I thought guys hated each other. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, fuck yeah, let's get. But I learned how this really works with these guys. And I fell in love with it. But you know what it is? Cam, there's guys that know that the only way they're going to stay on the ice, that's their role at the time, right? I got to answer, a guy our goalie got ran 2 months ago by this guy. I got to answer for it now. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where, some guys were doing it just to do it. I look for the guys that literally seem to enjoy doing it. Okay. Now I don't know if I'm wrong, but Cam, you look like you enjoyed fucking, dude. You look like, when I watched you, that time when I first saw you play, I'm like, holy shit, this guy would have been a Danbury Trasher because he looks like he actually enjoys this role. So I learned very early on, there's guys that's their role, but at the same time, they don't really like it.
They're usually 6'6", and they get rolled into it. I busted my ass all summer with fight training, and I'm like, I'm ready now, like a boxer or a UFC fighter.
No, and so those were guys we looked for. I looked for the guys that actually gave a shit what their rating was on like hockeyfights.com. You know what I mean? Like guys that actually thought there was like a, I looked for guys that would make like fake usernames to pump their own videos up. You know what I mean? Like I like guys
like my buddies, like my buddies, like my family.
Please. I had a camp of like 20 kids. We'd spam all these boards back then. But, dude, let me tell you something. I look, John Morasti, Brad Wingfield, Ruben Nader, Frank Bialois.
Animal.
I mean, there are guys I could just, and you know what the thing is? And here's the other thing people don't understand, especially in those days where fighting was so prevalent, most teams, Cam, Andy too. I mean, most teams have, you got your one main heavyweight, you got a couple other guys, maybe, middleweights, little, smaller guys. But, these heavyweights, they had to fight day in and day out. I mean, we had legitimately 8 guys that could honestly be a number one fighter on any team. So what happened was a lot of that weight was off these guys' shoulders and they could actually play. Like Brad Wingfield, I'm telling you right now, had he not got hurt, if you do the calculations and you estimate it, average it out, my guy would have had probably over 600 penalty minutes and 30 goals. I swear to God, he was able to display another, side of him because he did not have to fight 3 times a night. And these guys, I think, appreciated that because we gave them a platform to show, hey, I can skate too. You know what I'm saying?
And he still won games.
Hey,
and we still won.
Yep.
Walk me through the bonuses. Like, how much are you paying for a bonus? And are we talking like cash in a duffel bag in the middle of the dressing room before they go out and play, and you're saying, hey, you do this, somebody's walking home with this duffel bag? Like, how much money are you putting in there?
Hey, listen, like I said, man, I was the starting pitcher. However, it was closed out. That wasn't my thing. I do know there was a couple big games where there were some incentives, and I think one of them, the Omacholi brothers said in the documentary, these guys went wild at the club after. That was a huge mistake, by the way. But, I mean, look, there were some bonuses, and like I said, I was just the starting pitcher. I just identified the guy and however it got closed out, that was above my pay grade.
All right, how much were you getting fined? And were you ever like, oh my God, like, can we just withstand like all these fines and keep paying the fines? Or did you not even care how much they were fining you?
Well, listen, Commissioner Brosell, he had a little bit of hair when we started with the team, and within 2 years, I think he's got a beautiful head on him, man. He's got no hair. It was all.
I told you, AJ, what I said. I said we have a sponsor for that, right?
HairClub for men, baby.
That's
HairClub, baby.
No, you got to get on Richard Brosell. He could be the spokesperson. We drove him crazy. My dad at one point actually said, Richard, can we just set up like an escrow account or something and you just deduct when you need? Like, my dad was like, I'm tired of these phone calls. Why don't we just pay you a retainer like a lawyer? Mm-hmm. And whenever we do something, you just take what you need. If we have to replenish it, let us know. I mean, we used to bust his balls, man. And he loved it, though, deep down. I know he had a role. He had a job to do. Yeah. But deep in his heart, I'm telling you, he absolutely loved it.
All right. No, he told me that. He said that actually, like, your dad, like, wired him $10,000 and just said, hey, if you're going to keep finding me, just keep taking it out of this, like, this fund that I'm going to send you. But
it was like our fine fund. It was, great times.
Yeah, and that lasted like 2 months, apparently, like the $10,000. But, okay, now listen. You got suspended. You couldn't even go inside the building, right, for like 30 days?
Yeah.
What did you do for that? Because he threatened you. He said, listen, man, I'm going to have people there, supervisors. Yeah. I'll know if you're going inside the arena, and if you do, I'll ban you for life. Is that what he told you?
Yeah, nah, he was pissed. I mean, look, so, that league, the bulk of the games were played on the weekends. So I would be at school in New York, all week, and then I'd come home on Friday afternoon, and we'd have our weekend games, whether they were home or away, whatever. And then every single Monday on my way back to school, like on the dot, 9 o'clock on the dot, every 9 o'clock on Monday, he would call me and he'd be yelling at me, whatever we did that weekend. You guys are crazy. I'm getting tired of this shit. I'm going to fine you. I'm warning you. And I would just, I'm sorry, Mr. Brosell, I'm sorry. I don't recall these things happening, but I'll look into it. And he would be like, you're lying. What's going. I mean, we used to drive him just absolutely bonkers. I'm telling you, it was hilarious.
Okay, so
What
did you do though to get that 30 game?
Oh, well, the time I got suspended, so we were playing Richmond one game at home, Richmond River Dogs, and it was a bad night. We were getting killed, and I don't know what made me do it, but I ended up walking over to section 102. And next thing I know it, I'm in there with them, we're talking shit, we're taunting. So a guy with a suit comes over and he starts like yelling at me, and he's like, show some respect. Like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be doing this. Why are you in the section? And I'm just like, this is our barn. I'm like, hey, who are you? I'm like, why are you talking? You know what I mean? Like, who the hell are you? Next thing I know it, it's getting a little heated, and next thing I know it, Tommy Pomposello, T-Bone, I saw him run across the rink, the outside. He like WWF spears this guy. And next thing I know it, I'm picking him off. There's a scuffle. I pick Tommy off. We're running. We're getting the hell out of there. And by the time we got up to the owner box, I swear it was like Richard was already on the phone, and my dad's just looking at me and T-Bone and just like, okay, all right, Richard, let me see what's going on. And
oh my God,
Tommy got five. I think he got suspended for life, basically, at that point.
And he got banned.
He got banned, and then it was like a 2 or 3 week suspension, and a fine. And I had to write an apology note. It was a whole spiel.
Did you write that in crayon?
I know that's what I would have done.
That is a true story. I did write it in crayon, and we faxed it. Richard was so pissed at me.
Cam Strick Podcast here for our boy Dan Bellman with Bellman.com.
Yeah, baby.
You need some new wheels? Why not get a Cadillac, a Buick, a GMC? Yeah. Head out to Troy today. And again, don't forget about Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram right across the street.
No doubt.
Right there in Troy, Missouri. Visit them online. Check out their new selection, the pre-owned selection, the best service you will find anywhere in the country. Bellman.com. BeHLMANN.com. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the summer.
Yeah.
Now back to the interview. Hey, listen, somebody told me about this player, Chad Wagner. He played like 3 games for you. Had like 75 penalty minutes in 3 games.
Chad Wagner?
I don't know, 3 games.
Listen,
played.
Chad,
they banned him from the league, and you told him to go change his name legally, and then he could come back and play for you under a different name.
Who was this mutant? Who was this mutant?
Tell that story.
Chad Wagner, holy shit. So again, when Wingfield got hurt that first year, a week later, I met this guy, and I don't remember his name, truthfully, and he was the one who connected us with, Nasty Marasti. I believe the guy's name was the guy's name. I'm almost positive was Eric, but anyway. So he's the one who hooked me up with Marasti. So he told me, he's like, hey, listen, if you ever need a guy to come down here, stir the shit, I got a direct link with this, the Quebec League, this league, that league. So I'm like, all right. So we would do shit like that where we'd call a guy in, he'd come in, he'd get suspended, and we just replace him, we dress someone else the next time. You know what I mean? So Chad Wagner, so the story with Chad Wagner was one day I'm driving to school. I'm on my way to New York, and I'm listening to ESPN radio, and Barry Melrose comes on, and he's the owner of Adirondack at the time. So he's talking NHL lockout stuff, updates, beep, bop, bop. Next thing I know, they ask him about, the Adirondack team, how they're doing. And he was talking, and he said something, and I don't remember what it was, derogatory about, us, the Trashers. I remember just being so pissed about it that I was incensed. I get to school, I call my dad, and I'm like, we gotta go after Adirondack hard next game. He said this, and my dad's like, I don't care, do what you gotta do. He was busy with other things. So I remember calling this guy Eric, and I'm like, Eric, I was like, dude, we're playing on the road. I said, we want to make a statement. I said, I need someone super crazy, bro. I was like, crazy. And he's like, what type of crazy? And I'm like, dude, just the craziest guy you can find. I don't care. So he's like, all right, let me call you back. Next thing I know he calls me. He's like, all right, I got a guy. He hasn't skated in 5 years, but he's what you want. And I was like, all right. So he goes, now, are you sure about this? I said, yeah, I'm sure. You know how we do it. So he's like, no, really, like this guy, I forget what league it was. He knocked the guy out during a ceremonial handshake or something. And I'm like, all right, that's the type. I was like, that's the type of guy I'm looking for. So we fly him into Albany, New York. I don't know what it was. We were playing Adirondack away. I was watching it. We had a little like BS stream. We would watch it on the league stream. And he went out there and again, he couldn't skate much, but big guy. It was like a vending machine on skates, this guy. He was huge. And you see him, he's fishing around, and long story short, he doesn't do much. He ends up getting thrown out. The refs were kind of tipped off, so they were looking for him to do one thing, and they threw him out. So I was pissed. I'm like, Eric, I was like, this guy, he didn't do anything. He's like, no, we're going to make it up to you. We're going to make it up to you. He wants to come back. You don't even have to pay him this game. Don't worry about it. So we bring him into Danbury on WWE night when John Cena's there, actually. And I'm sitting there, and I meet this guy in the locker room, and you look at someone, it was like staring through him. It's like he had no soul, bro. He was just looking at, very nice guy, soft spoken. And he's like, oh, I'm really sorry about last game. I'll make it up to you. I'm like, nah, man, don't worry about it. Just do what you got to do. Stir it up a little,
Like a gladiator back in the day where
he's just staring, and it's like look, he was a few nuggets short of a Happy Meal. I'm telling you right now. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, this guy is a little, I like it, but I'm also like, what the hell? So anyway, he goes out. I remember it was at an Adirondack game. We're at home. John Cena's sitting next to me up, and he's watching this, and a line goes out. The forwards were Chad Wagner, John Morasti, and I think Dave McIsaac. They moved him up to forward. I'm like, okay, it's about to go down now. So all of a sudden, he just starts just dummying guys, and there's a line brawl. He ends up getting. It was a crazy. So the refs were bringing him to the penalty box, and he's skating, and he looks up at us. Our box was right over the penalty box. He looks at me. And I'm looking at him, and I kind of give him a thumbs up, like, hey, good job. He just looks at me. He breaks away. He does this, like, football swim move. He breaks away from the referee, skates full blast after Adirondack. It was like slow motion. When something's like slow motion? Yeah. He's skating towards the Adirondack bench, stops, grabs the head coach at the time, Mark Potvin, and by his tie starts to bring him over the boards. And I'm like, holy shit, this guy's insane. So, Adirondack, of course, they pull him back. It was like a tug of war with their head coach. And, he gets banned for life, obviously. Obviously. Dude, to this day, that was the last time I ever saw him. We never spoke again. I tried to look him up on social media. He's like MIA. He's just gone.
We'll find him now. We're going to find him.
I played against him in fucking North America.
Okay, so the story of somebody telling me that you told him, hey, go to the courthouse, change your name legally, then you can come back and play for us.
Hey. Well, I'll say this: that idea was floated around. I don't know who thought of it. It's a genius idea, by the way. I can't say it was me, but I'll tell you, it was talked about. And man, we were just, I just look back. We were just doing shit like this day in and day out. It was insane,
dude. You could have found, honestly, though, I know, real like. In all sincerity, you could have had some real badass dude from the East Coast that's come up and paid him out under the table. You didn't need that dinosaur weirdo. Like, there's so many shit kickers that could have came up and, like, knocked guys out for you.
In 5 years.
Like, fucking have it. Like, well, just, like, there's so many tough guys, man, at that
I know.
You could have paid on the table.
No, and we were. I was always searching. I was always searching for young up and coming guys, and just guys full of piss and vinegar. I'm like, oh, this guy's good. This guy. There was a couple guys we played against that I was really trying to target. There was this kid that played in Rockford. His name is Robin Big Snake. Yeah. And just his name alone, I'm like, we got to get Big Snake. And I was just like, just this tough, another Indian kid like Morasti. Yeah. And there was so many. There was a kid, so many guys, but we needed to put the puck in the net too. So unfortunately, some of those spots were allocated for those guys. But if we could have just a full team of those guys, that would have been beautiful.
Hey, what does AJ stand for, by the way? Is that Anthony?
Anthony Jr.
Anthony, no, not you. Anthony James.
That's Carmelo, by the way.
All right, listen. So we got to talk about Section 102. I heard all about Section 102, all these fans going crazy. And even Richard told me, man, you used to go up to, like, behind the visiting team's bench during, like, timeouts. And he had a foghorn. and he would blare the foghorn right into the ear of the coach, so the players couldn't even hear what he was saying. Would you really do that?
So it wasn't me, but there was a guy in there that actually took the horn off a fire truck. I mean, there was a legitimate fire truck horn. And I remember one day, one of the guys, I mean, Section 102, I mean, they were part of the team basically. And I remember one week they're like, hey, this guy, Big Mike, he's going to bring a horn next week. And I'm like, all right, I'm thinking like, like one of those air horns or something. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, guys, do what you got to do. We were told by the police, look, they could do what they got to do as long as they don't intrude over the glass itself. There won't be a problem. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking next week he's coming with some air horns. Okay, great. So I'm watching one day and he's got this huge chrome horn, like it's attached to something too, like a compressor or something. It's insane. So the first time he blasted it, it startles you. You kind of like jumped out of your shoes for a minute. And he would do this every game during timeouts. I mean, I've seen coaches just kind of throw their whiteboard down because it's like it's not even worth trying to draw up a play. You're not going to hear a damn thing anyway.
That's so annoying. It's unbelievable.
Oh, I'm ridiculous. So we were the definition of annoying. I mean, you couldn't. So annoying. Hey, no, I mean, if Cam was playing against us, there would have been some issues. Guys like Cam.
I even feel bad for fucking Josh Elzinga, dude. I played against him, and my dad watched it. It's so funny. My dad's listens to everything I do, watch every game, knows everything. And he's like, oh, Josh Elzinga. I played against him. I think he played for TI in AAA when I was like 10, 11, and he stuck me in the chin and got me 14 in the fucking, my first time ever getting stitches. God. My dad's there. It was Josh Elzinga. And then you hang out with the kid because you're going to all these camps together for AAA, and he's like the nicest guy ever. And you got the poor guy, like what'd he do to fucking boy? Trip him?
No, he slashed him. He broke his leg, didn't he?
Was it that bad?
Wingfield.
Listen,
Wingfield.
No, it was, I not being biased. It was, and again, you could tell you could tell he was probably a sweet kid, really. But what happened was that game, Wingfield's crashing the net. Elzinga's a defenseman, so Wingfield's crashing the net. It's kind of a scrum, and I'm watching it. But just like you said, Elzinga's stick came high and kind of clipped Wingfield, and Brad kind of asked him, "Hey, you want to go?" And you could see him physically decline, like no. He just said no. Brad turned around, going down the ice, and this kid Elzinga, I don't know, he tweaked out or something. He grabbed Brad by the back back collar, pulled him back, and then kind of stepped on his leg. And it was, dude, I'm telling you, it was like, I'd say it, not to sound dramatic, it was like a pretzel rod snapping. I could hear it to this day. And it was definitely dirty, but he wasn't known to be a dirty player. That's why I think that was part of the shock about it was, he's not a dirty, he wasn't known to be a fighter or a dirty player. It was just, I don't know what happened, but yeah, man, craziness.
So he snapped it bad because I remember watching it, and I remember saying,
dude, he was in so much pain. Remember him rolling around the ice?
But was it? I didn't know it was that egregious that he was like, no, this is a dirty play. I'm going to try to do anytime like a slew foot or a horse collar. Yeah, that's a fucking weird. That's a weird. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
and that's what was so weird.
I told you he gave me 14 in my fucking chin. I don't care that fucking much. My dad wanted to know, and now we know.
Hey, did the police ever get involved at the games? They ever come up to the owner's box and give a little knock? Like you guys never had any real issues with the police, because they knew what they were getting into, right? Did they protect you, or were they after you guys at the games?
Listen, these guys, look, they did their job. I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and act like, maybe in other places they probably would have been a little more proactive, but they knew like and like I said, they would always tell us, look, you guys can do, look, they gave us kind of like a checklist of if you guys or the fans cross these type of lines, we gotta act on it. And they were pretty big things, stuff that we wouldn't do naturally anyway. You know what I mean? So they kind of, they tried to, like I said, this type of stuff wouldn't be happening in 2021, but, they tried to, warn people sometimes with language or something. But I mean, it was, they did their job, but they were very, they helped the cause though too.
Okay, hey, I meant to ask you, though, when you got suspended and you were told you can't go in the arena for whatever, 30 days, 30 games, whatever, did you sneak back in? Like, be honest. Did you ever go into that building when you weren't supposed to be in there?
How can you not?
AJ.
We did. Well, look, the first few games I definitely stayed home, but then it was kind of like we kind of had the side door where it kind of was like a player entrance, and it wasn't like a glass door. So it was one of those things where all guys had these little chip things, and it was like electric. You get in. I may have found my way up to the locker room area at times, but yeah, that's all I can say about that.
Just to see the boys, what's up? Like they give them a little
got to make sure they're doing okay, you know?
Yeah, they need to see you, man.
What's the most a guy was making there? Like, what's the most you were paying a player?
True, and I know you're not going to believe me, but I truthfully, I couldn't tell you. I honestly, I truth to God, I swear, I know you probably don't believe me, but I heard rumors and numbers, but I honestly don't know.
What were the rumors?
Allegedly, give or take, something like that.
G's, eh? I was thinking
give or
50.
take, allegedly.
Andy was thinking 100. I'm like, nah. A couple of those guys, man, they needed to play. They had shit going on. You throw them 20 G's cash, they're fucking playing.
But then the wife is on the payroll on the
well,
business.
Then you got
other
Andy, you got other little things. No, there's other things, but like you can't $100,000 off the bat. Some of these guys,
not right off the bat.
I'm just saying,
not like in the duffel bag. Here's 100 G's.
Saying,
but over the,
isn't that funny, AJ? We're just talking.
That's like their salary.
AJ, we get it, man. We've all we played it. Andy's seen this thing firsthand. Like it is what it is, man. But hey, can I ask you something though? Like you and your dad are close, and God, when he went to jail though, were you just like, fuck? All right, I gotta take care of shit. I gotta take care of the family. I gotta regroup and figure shit out. Like, how was that?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously it was. My dad went away once when I was in 8th grade. It wasn't that long of a stretch, but that was tough too. But again, not that it's normal, but you see it. You see people go away and this and that. But it was tough, and it was like double jeopardy because losing him was obviously the hardest thing, but also losing the team essentially was it compounded big time. I mean, those two things combined as individual events coming together at the same time. It was definitely really tough. And like I said, it was one of those things where I wanted nothing to do with it. It wasn't hockey's fault, obviously, but I wanted nothing to do with hockey. I wanted nothing to do talking about this team. And, you kind of just settle into your boring life. I was, and I just wanted to just do my thing. You know what I mean? And, it's just crazy how things come back around.
All right, so where were you the day that the FBI raided like your dad's office, your house, if they came to the rink and whatever? And did you have any idea that they were investigating you guys? Like, did you know? Like, were you ever tipped off that, hey, man, the FBI is kind of watching over what you guys are doing here?
Well, yeah, I mean, so my dad and others were unfortunately indicted in 2006, but in 2005 they actually had an initial raid and no arrests were made or anything. But when things like that happen, it's like it could be tomorrow. It could be 2 years from now. Guys are going to get arrested, So we kind of knew from 2005, all right, well, this isn't good. And actually the whole second season, every day you wake up and you're hoping this isn't the day, guys get rounded up. You know what I mean? And it was the indictments came June 9th, 2006. And it was, shortly after our second season. And, that was all she wrote.
Were you ever in any danger at all or no?
Listen, it's one of those things where, not that I know of. I mean, there were rumors of this, that, and the third, but, I guess thankfully nothing ever came of it. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird, when things like that happen, when you're not indicted in something, the normal person's relieved, right? I'm kind of like, people may look at you like, hey, why aren't you indicted with us? You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, it was kind of weird. You know what I mean? Not that I was doing anything wrong or anything like that, but it's kind of weird where there were certain guys being picked up that really had nothing to do with anything. And, they're looking to get my dad to cooperate and to put pressure on him, maybe using me or something. That's a good ploy for them, honestly, from a strategic point of view. But it's tough, look, I'm happy I'm not saying I wanted to be indicted. I'm glad I wasn't. But my point is, in that world, if you're not indicted and all these other guys, 30 guys get picked up, you start to worry if other guys are thinking, hey, is AJ saying something? You know what I'm trying to say? So it was a very strange, super strange time.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you. Like, who ratted Jimmy out?
Well, it wasn't. It's weird. It wasn't. This was an investigation, from what I've been told, that was going on for a long, long time. Obviously, there wasn't necessarily like that. There wasn't necessarily that like superstar cooperating witness type of deal, but they were able to, like they say in the documentary, they were able to infiltrate, my dad's business. And, this guy was, at the games a lot. Honestly, I don't even know who it is. I mean, my dad may know of who, because, when you get indicted, the government has to supply you with their evidence. But honestly, I truthfully don't know, who was, played a part in infiltrating, planting wires and, things of that nature.
So when this all went down, you're on like cloud 9, though. I know you had a little bit of, you kind of knew something was going to go down, but you got a fucking team. You're getting a ton of attention. You're a young kid, and all of a sudden stuff's going down. Like how was that mentally for you? Were you like, oh my God, everything's crashing down upon me? Were you talking to people? Were you fucking depressed? Like, how was your mental state of things?
It was super, super tough. I mean, and like anything else in life, I mean, when it rains, it pours. I mean, I remember it was, in a span of 2 years, 2006 to 2008, my dad was on house arrest for 2 years. So those were tough times. My dad's cooped up in the house. He's aggravated. He's dealing with this, dealing with that. Between losing the team, him, obviously, when you get indicted like that with that many counts, you're going away at some point. I'm trying to finish my last 2 years of college. You break, same span of years, you break up with a longtime girlfriend. So that plays into emotion. So it was 2000, when my dad went away, it was tough. It was really tough. But, it's one of those things where he's never made excuses. He's never allowed me to play the sad sack, like, oh, poor me. Yeah. We would visit him almost every week, and he never sat there and complained, oh, I got framed, oh, this. He was a friggin' man. I mean, he just was a man about it. And he's like, look, I screwed up. Some of these things aren't true, what they say. Some of them may be, but he took it like a man. He really did. And I really admired that about him. And I've learned so much through him, whether a direct lesson from out of his mouth or indirectly, just, through watching actions, good and bad.
All right. So explain to me, like, when you're the son and like your dad goes away for 8-10 years, whatever it was, and then he comes back, like, can you just pick back up your relationship? Is it weird? Is it different? Has it ever been the same? Like, what's your guys' relationship like now?
Honestly, look, it was definitely, and I see it all the time with unfortunately, guys or girls who go away and they come out. It's even if you're away for 2 years, it's like when you come out, it's such a different world nowadays. The things move so fast. I mean, it was definitely in the beginning an adjustment for all of us. You know what I mean? But I would say now we're probably closer than ever. You know what I mean? It's crazy to think like that. But, we've always, my dad's always been my hero, my idol. I've always looked up to him, I'll go off the cliff for him.
How is it now, man? Again, was it tough? Did you have to start from scratch as far as money? Like, you were probably like doing pretty good. Like, you have to like reinvent yourself and be like, okay, what am I doing now? Okay, well, boxing. Well, you created a persona about yourself to where, look, I could put a fucking show on for people. And so, like, how the next step happened?
Learn how to entertain.
You're a fucking entertainer, man. You know how to bring people in. You know how to talk to people. You're a social fucking butterfly. And so, did you take that? Now you're like, oh, this is what I want to do.
Well, again, and people don't believe me. I mean, just like I got into the Trashers by fluke, just my dad telling me essentially this is what's going to happen and that's it. Yeah. I got into boxing the same way. See, I wasn't even other than Mike Tyson, I wasn't a boxing fan growing up. I didn't watch boxing. I couldn't tell you a thing about boxing. And really what happened was in 2011, and again, I don't even know how sometimes I get in these conversations, but I end up talking to a gentleman who lives here who's an ex-heavyweight fighter, boxer, and he was training a guy out of Danbury who was an established pro boxer. And, long story short, he just basically asked me, like, hey, you want to manage him? Like, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean manage him? And at first I thought they were just looking for a handout, you know what I mean? Throw a couple dollars at them, let them go, and Lord knows do what, but I'm like, nah, like, I'm like, I can't do this. I was like, I don't know anything about boxing. I was just like, but he kept pressing me about it. He's like, no, you'll learn. I can tell you'll learn quick, and I'm just like, God, these guys are crazy. So, it's like after a while they keep pursuing you. You start thinking about it more. And I remember like, just being in my bed and kind of like, damn, this would be kind of cool. Like, I had a void from losing the team, and it kind of gets me back in sports in a way. And I just like, screw it. I'll learn as I go. And, here we are. I mean, I've been in boxing now, 10 and a half years now. I mean, it's insane. And, we got a boxing gym, Champs Boxing Club right here in Danbury, right like 2 minutes from the ice arena, which is funny. But, yeah, I mean, it's I'm learning, and there's a lot of parallels, even if I'm not trying to do it that way, there's a lot of things that we do that's very on par with, the Trashers.
Did you and your dad watch the documentary together? Like, did you guys sit down and watch it? And like, what's he doing now?
Well, we did watch it together. It was super weird at first because, anytime you see yourself on TV, it's kind of weird. You start picking at things about yourself. Like, I'm like, Jesus, my voice, I sound like a Muppet.
Well, at the beginning,
at
the beginning,
your press conference?
No, at the beginning,
well,
the way they clipped it off, I'm like, oh my God, you must have been like this motherfucker.
Oh man, I called the producers. I'm like, you guys really screwed me on this one, and all the kids at the gym been busting my balls. It's hilarious. But no, I mean, we watched it together, but it was kind of like, I feel like we were both like kind of in a shock, like not shocked, like scared, but like, holy shit, like this is crazy. You know what I mean? And, seeing all our home videos and stuff that, I supplied these guys, and it was just super weird. And, I mean, it's just the whole thing is so crazy.
It was good though, man. It turned out great.
Did you guys get paid for the documentary?
Yeah,
or no?
Well, it's funny how it works. So before I met these guys at Netflix, there was a production company that negotiated some life rights with me because they're looking to possibly, do something, a scripted feature. So when Netflix came, they kind of had to negotiate it with these guys. So we basically didn't get paid, but you know what? We never did this for money anyway. And just to be able to get the story out on an international level. And, when I tell you, like, since it dropped, thousands of messages from literally, especially Canada, I mean, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, I mean, from all over the world, people are just, and you know what? There's a lot of lessons. If you really watch it, it's definitely a funny story, but there's a lot of lessons you can learn from it. And, hey, you know what? If it's one of those things where someone gets inspired from it in any sort of way, that's all that matters.
Hey, man, you know what matters? Everybody likes you in the end. They did, dude. And that's gotta be a
cool,
good
man.
feeling. Yeah, dude.
No, it
feel
is.
good about that, dude. Absolutely.
No, and you know what it is, guys? I'll tell you the truth. And this is the truth. I mean, what you see, even when I was a young little dick kid, I mean, I that was me. But here's the thing. Yeah. When we announced the team, I was scared. I'll be honest with you. When my dad first told me, I'm like, oh, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like, I knew the minute it came out in the press locally, I already knew that it was one of those, oh, look at AJ, spoiled. Here's the keys to the Ferrari, AJ. It's like, I knew I was going to get shit regardless. You know what I mean? So I said, you know what? Listen, they're going to criticize, I could be the most eloquent guy. I could be dressing in a suit every day. People are still going to give me shit. Yep. So I decided, you know what, taking a page from pro wrestling, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to amplify how I am because you know what, people are going to talk shit anyway. So I might as well have fun with it. And look, I'm not saying I put on a fake persona. That's who I was, but I definitely amplified it. And, people just wanted to see us lose because it's the little asshole kids team. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it was like, when people hear the Trashers, part of what they think about is, that little asshole kid and we got to beat them. I mean, we were selling out
anymore,
when we were,
dude.
Yeah, well, I appreciate
you. Everybody likes you. It's crazy. I swear to God.
AJ, what didn't make the documentary? Like, give me a story that didn't make the documentary that like you think people would like to hear. Anything crazy?
Oh God, I mean, dude, there's so many stories. I mean, I literally there's not one sticks out to me, but there's just so many stories that could be told that just obviously couldn't make the cut. I mean, and again, the interviews were 2 years ago, so some of the things I don't remember what we spoke about anyway. But I mean, I'll do this one for Cam because I'm sure if he was an opposing player, he would love this one. So I remember once me and Tommy T-Bone, the equipment manager, we were sitting there and we were driving around and we were talking about the upcoming game, and it was like and I'm like, he's like, I got an idea. So we end up going to a supermarket and we bought like 3 or 4 like those big, disgusting, slimy ass fish, right? And an anonymous person was able to get them into the heating ducts of the visiting, locker rooms. So you can imagine after a few days in there, when these guys came to play, I mean, I have confirmation of at least one guy who threw up. And it was just like, it smelled like it was hell in there. It was like they were like, what the hell is going on? It was nuts.
Motherfuckers, man. I was so fucking pissed about that.
Oh, my. Hey, you're getting so much attention right now, though.
Yeah, dude.
Like any opportunities? Have any opportunities come about since this documentary was released? Has anybody said, hey, we want you to do this or that?
Well, listen, I'm kind of literally, and this is probably a mistake for me to even say to you guys, but I've been literally answering every message that comes through social media. I feel like I owe it to people if they took the time to watch this. Like, I've been talking to people from all over, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's just how I was raised. Like, you treat everyone the same, and I don't care if someone has 1 million followers or 10 followers. If they message Trashers, I'm having conversations with people all day long, and it's cool to see what like people take of it. I mean, you got people that want to fly you out to talk at conventions and stuff, which is kind of weird.
Money maker, baby. It's a money maker,
I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm like I said, I if it's for a good cause, if there's ways, we're trying to do a lot. We're going to start selling jerseys again. I got to get you guys something.
I know. I saw that. Yeah. You had like the pre-orders.
Some big boys.
Yeah,
we want you to send us some stuff because like Drake's all of a sudden wearing your jersey. I don't know how he got that. Like, who's the most famous person to reach out to you?
Well, Drake. I mean, what happened was, the documentary dropped on Tuesday, August 31st. The next day, long story short, I end up in a direct message conversation with this guy, Drake, to the point where I'm like, this can't be Drake. You know what I mean? This is probably someone handling this for him. Next thing you know I'm on a call with him, and he's telling me like, hey, I watched this documentary. It was trending in Canada, and this is insane. And he's like, I want a jersey. The only jersey I have laying around was the one that was framed in my office at my gym here. I broke the frame, and I took the jersey out, and I was able to get it to him, and I didn't expect him to post the friggin' jersey. And ever since then, it's just like it's taken on a whole new life. And it's so we're working on getting jerseys made, merchandise, all that stuff. Because honestly, look, there's no Trasher hockey team anymore. But if this logo can stand for something bigger, and
that logo is the best logo,
badass.
One of the best logos in the history of hockey age. I don't know who created that for you.
I thought it was the Thrashers. Not gonna lie to you.
Everybody thought it was the Thrashers.
Yeah, I know.
But it's the Trashers.
Well, listen. I mean, I don't know how much time you have, but the NHL tried to sue us because of the Thrashers. I mean, Gary Bettman and them tried to sue us after our first season because of the Thrashers. They said that we had to change our name because it was too close to Atlanta. And we were like, what? Like, you guys just had a lockout. You're worried about a trash can logo. That's insane. You know what I mean? So this is a true story. We responded to their letter. This is a very true story. I could vouch for it. We challenged the NHL as an exhibition. We were going to fly the Atlanta Thrashers in, and we would play them for the name. And I mean, look, we would have lost the damn game, but it would have been a friggin' gong show. You know what I mean? We weren't going to lose the name without swinging. You know what I mean?
Chad Wagner be playing in that game.
That. They had fucking bolts. They had a couple shit kickers
yeah,
on
it would
that
have
goddamn
been
team, boy.
Bufflin.
They would have fucking called some cats up too from the American League.
Hey, listen, whatever it takes, man. But you see, our guys, they would have fought for it no matter what, and And that's the thing is we had guys that really, it meant something to them to wear that logo. And, it's at the point now where this logo is turning into something different. And, I hope it represents, for the guys like Cam and all these, Eric Bolton, like you just said, and all these older, a different breed of hockey player that you don't see anymore. And hopefully it's something that, I would love to do something with the ex-enforcers. Let's sell the jersey with their names on it, and you guys do get what you got to get.
That'd be cool. Right. Hey, you know what?
Some of these guys need some.
They would have fought for it, especially if you put 10 G's in the middle of that dressing room.
There's some guys that need some shit. No shit, they would have done.
And they're like, okay, we'll take on the Thrashers. Man. Give me the most famous hockey person though, like outside of Drake, like any former players, anybody like that.
The one I could think of off the top of my head, and I actually tried to sign him in 2004 was Georges Larac. Hit me up.
Big George.
I tried to sign. So we had Mike Rupp, obviously. We had Stephen Pete actually from the Capitals for a few games. But I really tried. It's not a joke. I really tried just for the fuck of it to get Georges Larac and Donald Brashear at the same time. Oh. And it would have been first of all, it would have been a complete waste of money because no one would have fought them anyway. No. But just because, just for the fuck of it, it would have been hilarious. But I tell you what, Georges, for some reason, it never got traction. But I'll tell you, Donald Brashear came kind of close, but he ended up going to Quebec League, but it was close.
That fucking league, Donald Brash won that Quebec League, Andy.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Remember that? He was fucking suspended and shit. Yeah, you know what? Go ahead.
No, I was saying we even tried to say, I don't know the relationship, like I said, but he was playing in the league at the time during the lockout. I even tried just because to try to get Sean Avery on the team too. That would have been.
That'll cost you some coin.
Well, no, he was playing for Motor City. I think Richard Brosell kicked his ass out of the league too.
Yeah. Right. So the Motor City brought in, because the Red Wings, they had Chelios, Hatcher, and Sean Avery were playing.
Yeah, and Smolinski maybe too.
I remember.
They banned the coach for life, AJ, because he put $200 in the middle of the dressing room, and Hatcher was on the team, and he put a bounty on an opposing player's head, and whoever goes and fights this guy gets the $200.
$200.
Richard Brosell finds out about it, and then they ban that coach for life.
$200.
He's out of the league for $200.
I feel like I remember that, but it's funny because those guys, Hatcher and Chelios, you could see they were just going out there, whatever. But this fucking guy Avery was playing hard, like he was trying to win, and I was just like this. I was like, this is a trasher right here, and we tried to get him at the deadline, but it just didn't work out.
Hey, listen,
everybody loved your daddy.
Sean Avery would have scored 35 goals that year. Like
a million percent.
And cross-check. And cross-check somebody had. Hey, you had that Beauregard, though, that kid with one eye, man. I remember when I was working in the UHL, that kid, he was like one of the best players I've ever seen. I'm like, if he had two eyes, he'd be playing in the NHL.
3 eyes would be unbelievable.
Let me tell you something. That guy is that was the first year he comes out, he's playing for Port Huron at the time.
Yeah.
And, again, I don't know anyone really. And he comes out with the big fishbowl head, face mask. And I'm asking one of the French guys that's a healthy scratch. I'm like, who's that guy? And they're like, oh, that's Beauregard. He was a big prospect. He lost his eye, unfortunately. And this guy scores 1 goal, 2 goals, 3 goals. And I'm like, what the So I start chirping at him. And I'm just like, I'm calling him One Eye Willie. I'm like, I'm trying to get under his skin. And he's blowing me kisses. He's talking shit back. And I'm like, oh, I like this guy, but I hate him at the same time. He ends up with like 4 goals that game. He had like 7 points. It was ridiculous. And we traded for him the second season. And he carried us to the Colonial Cup that year. He scored the game winner in the Eastern Conference Finals to get us to the finals. This guy's unbelievable.
I know we've been going for a long time with you, man. I know you got shit to do, but were you guys? A couple more questions from both of us, by the way.
Sure.
Were you guys making money? I look at that. How many fans can you possibly put in there? How was the sales of the jerseys, and did you guys do many meet and greets? And was the revenue coming with all the money going out?
It was the first year and a half, obviously bleeding, obviously. But I tell you, if there was a third season, maybe a fourth one, my dad probably would have saw a return. I mean, we started doing crazy merchandise at, those times, before the internet was really the internet even. And, it was just, people were just taken to the team. People were just coming in from all over. And, but who knows? But again, people don't believe me. I said, my father never wanted to do this for the money anyway. It was just something to do for the city. It was like we were just trying to build a legacy. And, never in a million years, 2021, we're sitting here talking about this damn team. It's insane to me.
All right, let me ask you this. You sit back, you watch this documentary, and there was, illegal shit going on and whatever. But when you sit back and you watch it, are you proud of what you did? Are you proud of, like, the team, the documentary, the Danbury Trashers? Like, does that make you proud, like, when you sit back and watch it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was curious how I was going to feel because there's so many layers to the story itself, that obviously personal stuff too. And I'm definitely proud. You know why? Because I don't know who I was talking to a few weeks ago, real hockey purist guy, and I could tell where this question was going. Mm-hmm. And, it was basically like, do you have any regrets? Look, society was different back then. The game was different back then. Yeah. I don't have any regrets because, look, we created something special. And, we did something special. Look, we never thought it would become an international story. But at the time, we were we were changing, not to sound cocky, we were changing people's lives. There were people that used to come to the games where this was literally like their whole life centered around this thing. And, it's a blue collar town over here and there's not a shitload to do. And we just brought something that people got behind. I think everyone felt part of the team, part of the family. And it was just one of those things, man. It was just I'm very proud. Again, and the second question everyone always asks me is, when are the Trashers come back? The Trashers could never come back. The game is so different. It never. That type of stuff that we were doing, we would be indicted in 2 days. There's no way. There's no way what we were doing back then, could ever be like, 2021.
Well, shit, you need to go in your basement and find some memorabilia, man. And keep that on sale.
Auction that up. Dude, you're
people,
like
these all hardcore fans.
AJ, you're like Tiger King, dude.
Yeah, dude. Well, I don't know if that's a compliment. Is the guy jailed? The other guy died.
Like Tiger King, but the success of the documentary, dude, is like Tiger King, man.
Well, listen, here's the thing. I hope the doc continues to do well over time because, if there's something that can come from it, it's, if we could parlay this situation to help other people around us and all over. If we could just, like I said, I think the story resonates with them. So many people have told me, like, when I watched this documentary, I feel like I was going back into like a time machine. Like society was so different back then, And I feel like people, when they see this documentary, so many people have told me like, dude, I feel like I'm back in the early 2000s when life was so much simpler. You know what I mean? And, people went to the games and actually watched the game. You know what I mean? And I think people, I don't know. I feel like there's a soft spot for people because it's like, wow, it's a time capsule. It's like watching something in time.
Man, AJ, it's been
dude,
good,
you're the
man,
dude.
People are gonna love it.
Yeah, everybody loves you, man.
And how long does this stay on Netflix? Like, is it available for forever?
I was told by the producers basically once it's on there, it's on there. You know what I mean?
You can find it, yeah.
So it's crazy, it's the whole thing is nuts. And I heard internationally it's doing really good. Like I heard it's doing good in America, obviously, but I heard like internationally, like aside from Canada, which is obvious. Weird places like Brazil, I was told it was like top 5. I'm like, Brazil.
Okay. And good looking chicks down there, AJ. Hot chicks are just watching you right now. Like, I love this cat.
Oh God, but we got to get you guys some jerseys and definitely shoot me over sizes and names and numbers. I'm working on that.
Well, Andy's small and I'm like XXX.
All right,
I don't believe that. Hey,
AJ, you're the man, homie.
Last thing, are you like married? You have kids and stuff like that? What's your family like?
No, I am married, no kids, but my mom's putting a squeeze on me about that. So that could be, that's TBD, but no, I am married, and no, it's just, and it's funny because she, she didn't know me back then, or know the craziness, and it's just funny. It was just like some of it was so cringy, letting her watch it and stuff, but it's she loved it, and like I said, I mean, I'm trying to do a lot with my gym here. I deal with a lot of inner city kids. I'm trying to put them onto hockey now too.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we bought a street hockey net, a bunch of sticks, and I just stick them in there and start taking slappers at them. It's funny. But, just trying to, I kind of refound my love for the game, through this Netflix thing. And, hopefully I could, expose the sport locally to a different demographic.
Oh, yeah. Are you getting recognized?
It's weird. Sometimes I don't go out too much. So it's like when I have, it's like, you notice people kind of leering a little bit. Mm-hmm. But we do have, if you look at the end of the documentary with the credits, a buddy of mine graffitis the Trasher logo on the back of my gym here. A lot of people like coming here, taking selfies with it, taking pictures with it. So it's kind of, it's kind of like a little landmark, which is cool. So. But, like I said, man, I'm just so humbled by this whole thing, being able to talk to guys like you. And like I said, seriously, Cam, I remember the first game I watched in years. Cam had like a friggin' 7-minute fight. It was awesome. and I'm just like, it's humbling, man.
Well, shit, it comes to a circle, man. I'm a fan of you now, big boy.
We're honorary trashers. I want to be an honorary trasher.
Hook
AJ.
me up with something. I want to wear a T-shirt or something.
We'll make it happen.
Send me an address and sizes, and I'm gonna take care of you. And if you guys are ever in the the New York area, let me know. I love to show you guys the gym and take you guys out to dinner or something.
We go out there all the time, man. We have a lot of people in that area. So, dude, we
actually, Cam never leaves his house.
Bullshit.
But
well, not in 2 years. But now I'm gonna go out there. I had a golf tournament with Marty, and I had to turn that down. But anyway, we'll be out there. Everybody's rooting for you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, big dog.
Thanks,
we'll
AJ.
talk to you soon.
I
big boy.
appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.
Right on, AJ. See you, buddy.
Take care,
all right,
man.
guys. See ya.
Man.
Hey, what's up, everybody? That interview was brought to you by Daredevil Hockey and daredevilhockey.com. Use that promo code today, Cam and Strick. It's going to save you 25%. All caps, Cam and Strick, Daredevil Hockey. Get yourself protected today. All right, that was AJ, Anthony James Galante.
Anthony Jr.
Cool ass dude.
Yeah, dude. He's like, you could party with him and know that you're cool.
Well, he invited me to come to New York, and if you want to come with me, you can.
Yeah, he invited you?
Yeah.
That's funny how that works.
So
he's like, okay, if I'm going to invite Cam or Andy, I'll do Andy. Never mind. Fuck him.
you going to rock that Trasher shirt or what?
What are you looking at there? You distracted me. I want to see what you said. Was it me and Kate doing stuff? Oh, I always wear the shirt you gave me. Yeah. Sorry, our engineer Brody hooked me up with it for my birthday.
Yeah.
Cam and
Your
Strick.
golf shirt.
I wear that motherfucker everywhere.
Well,
I look jacked as fuck. It's white until I spill ketchup on the mug. I look sexy as shit when I'm golfing. Thank you, Brody. I love you.
Okay, so what impressed you the most about AJ? Did you learn
Down
anything?
Earth. He's just down earth guy. You know what? When you're if you watch Sopranos and you look at Anthony Jr.,
you think he knows Sopranos? Do you think Sopranos is about the Galante family?
I think there's the trash industry. Like they look.
Hold on. So tell me about that. Mm-hmm. On the Sopranos, was the family that was? Because I didn't really watch it very much. I don't think I've ever really sat through a full episode.
Waste management company.
So the main family owned a trash company,
and that's the norm.
Was their last name Galante?
No, Soprano. But listen, Andy,
was there a kid named AJ on there?
Yes, Anthony Jr. But he's a fucking dipshit. I hated that character. He was terrible. I met him before at the club down when I played in Jersey too, and he's kind of a fuck off too. So I really didn't like him. I met a couple. Adriana La Cerva. I met her. Awesome chick. All those guys. You meet all of them. You're a part of
like the real ones? From
the real guys,
from the movie, from the TV show.
Yeah. And so Christopher Moltisanti, all those guys, they're all pretty cool. But AJ, anyway, he's just a dipshit kid. Like he's spoiled. Like he just, he's doing this, he's doing that. He's just a complete fucking
on the show you're talking about,
show.
Right?
On the show, and you're like, God, like it makes you not want to have kids. Looking at that fucking kid, like it just drives Tony crazy. And Tony's not the best dad either, but like this is the opposite of it, man. Like if Tony would have gave AJ in the show the way AJ was in the show, a task like that, a responsibility like that,
how would that have gone?
It would
down?
have been the most disastrous.
Would have been a complete disaster.
He's the biggest fucking fuckboy
now,
you could fucking
do you
imagine.
think this Trasher situation, was it a disaster or was it a
Not
success?
at all. Are you kidding? That's a success. Now I don't know the internals, but no one. Here's how I know, because there's a lot of money getting thrown around, and a lot of people needed to get paid. And they did. And if you don't get paid, what's the first thing that happens? You complain and you trash and you no pun intended. You trash the organization.
Trashers.
You trash the owner. They love that owner. The owner took care of them.
Yeah.
And in that department, things are fucking smooth. I like it.
I talked to a former player today. I didn't bring this up in the interview, and I meant to. But he said, listen, in all reality, they took unbelievable care of us. Mm-hmm. Teams in that league weren't eating at the restaurants that the Danbury Trashers ate at when they were on the road. They weren't staying at the hotels
Not even close.
that the Trashers stayed at when they were on the road. So when they took care of their players, I mean, they went the extra 10 yards, not the extra yard.
It's like when we played over in the English league, and like Nottingham's a team to play for.
Is it?
Oh my god!
Well, you don't know. You act like you played for every team in the league. There, you don't. I mean, how do you know how every other team does?
Because I was a pro athlete for 10 years, and you can
they
pick and choose where the fuck you want to
so
go.
where would you stay on the road? Good hotels?
Yeah, well, they just did everything right. They had more money.
Good
they
dinners?
had great. Yeah, I mean, like, in that department, it wasn't probably that much different. But as far as the setup, as far as the fan base, as far as the rink, as far as the city, as far as, like, the winning aspect, as far as everything, like, the Nottingham Panthers are the biggest big dog. Now, there's a couple guys up right underneath, but then there's some other drop-off. Like, you'd rather play for Nottingham than Fife. No offense,
So
Scotland, love all you guys.
what's the next team after Nottingham?
I'd probably say it would probably be right up the road in Steelers,
up the road there.
Right up the Steelers, Sheffield Steelers, because it's a nice little town.
the Steelers?
Yeah, Sheffield Steelers. What team do you play for,
What's the name
Andy?
of the town?
Andy, what team do you play for?
What'd you
when
just
played
call
over
it?
there?
No,
Sheffield.
Oh, Sheffield.
Beautiful. Rolling Hills.
Really?
It's the middle of England.
You
It's
take,
only an hour
you take
away.
trains to the game?
What teams do you play for when you played?
Parkway North.
Sick. Where'd you guys travel?
Right winger.
Where'd you fucking travel?
Well,
Parkway South?
Well, we'd go
And then
to
what
like,
happened? No one watched
go to
because no one even fucking
go
knows.
to different rinks around town.
Badass.
I
That's
think
fucking badass.
We went to Peoria a couple times.
Really? That's fucking sick.
Chicago.
I like how you're trying to beat. Don't beat that fucking league.
We
dude.
went to Chicago.
I had an
I'm
awesome,
not
don't
beating
you
that
fucking
league at
beat
all.
that fucking
I actually
league.
stood up
Don't
for
you
it
fucking beat
because
that league,
you said
dude.
that league was kind of like the UHL, and I said I don't know. Maybe
No,
even,
that league's probably better than UHO. But
Well,
it's still.
I think all these leagues. I've
It
explained it
depends
like
on
this.
the year, dude.
I've explained it like this. I've said, hey, there's teams in the coast that could beat teams in the
I know.
UHL. There's teams in the UHL that could have beat teams in the coast.
100%.
And I'm going back there. And there's probably teams in the UHL or the coast that certainly could have
I'll say
beaten teams
this.
out there in England back then.
Andy, the team we played for was one of the best teams in the league over when I played in Nottingham.
You guys won the championship.
We won 2 out of the 3 championships. Very confusing. Don't ask me. There's 3 different championships you can win.
In 1 year?
Yeah.
Can you name the championships?
It was very confusing off the bat. I didn't understand. But there's a internal. It's just like a soccer league where there's an internal tournament. We won that. Then there's a
tournament,
and then we
or
won
like
the playoff
playoffs?
tournament. But then the team that won the most regular season games wins the championship.
So
we didn't win the most
which championship did you win?
We won the playoffs.
When
like
you are, there's a picture of you like on the glass, like
there's 2 of
screaming.
that was
at
the
fans.
eternal one. It was sick.
Like,
yeah.
settle
Me and
down.
David
You're
Clark.
just absolutely just going crazy.
Oh, yeah,
You're
the fans hated
scaring
me.
kids.
Yeah, the fans
and
hated me.
women.
The fans
The women
hate.
are scared of you.
Oh, my wife was getting pranced around like fucking Cleopatra. And I honestly, they treated us like gold. Like, what the fuck you want me to do? Like, they loved us. Every time we went to dinner or eat, they take care of us everywhere.
What would they do for you?
Tear my bill or do this or like take care of me or whatever. Like, does Kate need to do this? Does Kate want to do this when you're out of town? And they're like, yeah, here you go.
So
Kate.
she would stay by herself when you would go out of town.
And she'd hang out. The other wives are awesome. Everybody's down to earth.
Really?
Everybody's like normal. No one's making 10 million, but everybody knows everybody.
A lot of players on the roster that are from Great Britain.
Yes,
the UK.
time.
I'm always confused by
Andy,
Great Britain,
I
England, UK. It's all the same, right?
Not really. I mean, yeah, you're in Great Britain. It's one big island. Besides Ireland, which is a little bit cut off, but it's still part of it, right? And
you get tornadoes over there? Or?
No, you don't. Get fucking tornadoes over there, Andy. You don't even have air conditioning. You know that?
Well, you don't have it in Arizona either, where I was in Flagstaff. You didn't have any air conditioning either.
Well, that's stupid.
When I played at NAU, we would go play at like Utah State,
you have
Weber State, San Jose State, Washington State, Colorado.
In England,
State.
you don't have fucking air conditioning, so it does get it's different over there. But
right,
man,
it doesn't get that hot.
It does a little bit, but the weather's different. You don't have tornadoes.
Snow?
You don't have. Listen, here's another thing you don't have. You don't have too many poisonous spiders. You don't have poisonous snakes. Mosquitoes are not there. You'll get flies. You'll get stupid things like that. But there's no wolves. There's no bears. There might have been wolves back in the day, but they're gone.
Snow.
You get a little snow, and the cars are tiny. There's no fucking pickup trucks like I'm driving. There's no Volvos like you're driving. But they have these shitty ass
I have the
cars
R design, the R series, by the way. It's
awesome.
like a racing series.
It's fucking
it goes
badass.
very fast.
You look really cool when you drive that.
It's got silver mirrors.
I know. And people are probably like, yeah, Andy's got silver mirrors. That's sick. Let's talk about him. Good God.
Are you glad you went over there?
I really am.
Let's address something right now for our English listeners.
Yeah.
You signed a 2-year deal and you stayed for 1.
Yeah. Well, I got a radio gig. Andy, I was doing.
You quit playing for a radio gig?
Well, yeah. I was doing something I didn't know what I was going to do after hockey now. I played over there for 1 year. Didn't make much money, but then I signed for a bigger ticket. But then I had to find something, and then I got offers.
You made a commitment to go there for 2 years, and you didn't go back.
Yeah. Yep. That's right.
Do you regret that?
No, not at all. Jesus.
Really?
Oh, my God. Thank God. And I love all you guys over there, but I had to start my career. They all know that. I said this a million times over. I had to start my new career here, dudes. You guys know that. And I did it. Now look.
Do you have anybody over in that league?
Now look where I'm at. Like, come on.
Anybody in that league that would have made good trashers?
Oh, fucking right. Yeah, dude. All those shit kickers over there would have been.
You know who would have been a
trashers.
good trasher?
Who?
Adam Keefe.
Yeah. Yeah, he would have. Zach Fitzgerald would have been a good one, dude. Some bad boys over there, man. I'm telling you. And even like Sean McMorrow and those guys that played beforehand were badass. There's some bad boys that played in that
You
league.
wonder who ratted out Jimmy Galante, don't you wonder?
Well, I mean, there's enough evidence throughout the years that it doesn't.
Somebody ratted. Well, yeah, but somebody has to say.
It's not just one.
You have
dude.
to say it when you're indicted, when you're under the grand or facing the grand jury. You have to say
Andy, they had like 50 different ways. He was doing so many little things, probably, man. They had like 50 different things, and all of a sudden you have so much shit build up on you. Like there's something that's
over time, over years.
Yeah, it wasn't one. It's like one per, like
it's
some
not
old
like,
grandma.
It's
not a murder.
No, it's not like you signed that right winger.
Yeah, or it's not like I saw you shoot that guy, or I saw you do this. It's more like you had a little bit of this, you fraud there, a little bit of fraud there, a little bit.
Okay, let me ask you this, because I knew like rich kids growing up. You knew rich kids, whatever. Like, is his life still different than like the rich kids?
That's why we asked him that. Yeah, no, he was a rich kid.
No, I know, but like, I'm talking about just living in that world with the family. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The family.
Yeah. What about it? That's why I asked him.
So the experience of a kid.
He saw some
that's
shit.
why I was wondering, like, were kids able to come to the house and stuff?
That's why I said I like snooping around. Like I was just
snooping around for what? What are they looking for?
Like, time out. When you're fucking young. And, like, your buddy whose parents are pretty interesting, who have a big fucking house, and they're, like, wealthy, and, like, they're out of town, and you're over there, like you're snooping around.
I don't know what you're looking for, though. What are you looking for?
Whatever.
Cigars or what? I mean, like...
Whatever. I mean, like, I'm sorry to be like, but, like, you're... Like, what's your dad got in this? Like... I remember doing it with my dad. Like, I looking all through his shit, finding all kinds of stuff.
What would you find? What'd you find? Oh, my God. See, that's why you don't have a gun in the house.
Yeah, but
you shouldn't even have access to it.
I didn't fuck with it, but that's fine.
You shouldn't even have access to it.
I looked through his liquor cabinet. I looked for weed.
Different. That's okay, but that's different.
Playboy. I look for
whatever. That is different.
Am I out of my mind?
You don't even have to be at a rich friend's house to look through the liquor cabinet.
But if it's a rich family, you're like, what else? What's your daddy got? You look through that, like, if he's got stuff. This is when you're young and you're a punk, man. Like, you're a punk ass fucking kid. You're fucking 10, 12, 13 years old. Like, man, I'd have all the AAA kids at my house. My dad would be sleeping. Like, we're fucking boozing. And I remember my Aunt Sally, who's next door, was out of town.
Your aunt lived next door?
And
I forgot about that.
And I'm like, okay, we're going to go over there. We went down, we opened our garage door, went down, drank all our booze, and we're going to go to Chicago. My dad woke us up in the morning, and he's like, what the fuck did you do? And we had to take us up there. Like, that's... Sorry, Aunt Sally. She knows. It doesn't matter. Like, you just did crazy shit.
Aunt Sally.
Yeah.
She lived right next door.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting a little too... I mean, everybody needs to spread out a little bit. Is Aunt Sally still there? Is Aunt Sally still there?
Yeah. Yep.
Right next door to your parents?
Yep.
To this day?
Yeah.
Wow.
we moved in from the big house that we couldn't afford anymore to the smaller area, and there, my mom's sister is right next door. It's quite.
Does Aunt
lovely.
Sally listen?
Oh yeah,
podcast?
They listen. Everybody listens to everything. It's just it is.
She must be.
I stole your.
She must be
I might
so
look in your.
proud
I might
of
look in
you.
your medicine cabinet too. I don't remember.
She is very proud, that Aunt Sally.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, fucking right. She was. Think about it though. They saw a lot of cool
I know
things.
they did.
I might have took her.
Did Aunt
booze
Sally
and weed,
ever?
But,
did Aunt Sally ever make it over to England or?
Fuck no. That's a fucking 10-hour trip. She's past the point of watching me play by that point. When you play for the Blues, everybody's engaged, you know. When you play for the Devils, no one gives a shit. But when you're in your hometown, the outside people that aren't Blues fans are watching you one way or the other because you can't help it. You're on everything. These weirdo fucking people, man. I remember my dad was mentioning it the other day when I was over there. I was over there hanging out before I went to my radio show. And he's like, do you remember? He's just looking through different like things and stuff. You remember I brought up Josh Elzinga, who we played against in TI, Team Illinois. And he's like, God, I remember this lady. We played this, and she would be so ruthless to you, Cam. And I was so mad at her. This old fucking wench. And she would throw things at me. And be like, you're and it just was such a weird. And I remember like, does that even like.
You say wench?
Wench.
Oh, witch.
Wench. It's the same thing. A wench.
What is a wench?
It's the same thing as a witch. It's a wench. It's maybe an English term.
It might be English.
Andy, now I lost my focus. I'm just saying, like, he brought this story up. I'm like, God damn. I kind of came back. I'm like, fuck, is that weird? You're 12 years old and this lady wants to destroy your soul like you're Satan.
That's what happens.
I might have murdered her son, but
Dude, don't say that.
Well, he came around that with his head down.
Oh, it's hockey speak.
Hockey speak.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think I fucking shot him?
I don't know where you're going.
Well, I mean, there's a couple things that you don't realize what you did. I'm like, Dad, what did I do to that poor soul? Like,
how do you think I would handle myself, like in like the whole like Italian mob world, like the circuit? You think? I mean, like you just like
you'd be like Vito in The Sopranos.
Which one's Vito? I didn't really watch the show.
He's a cool one.
Is he?
Yeah.
Because there's a certain way you got to handle yourself around that environment, right?
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay. Like, what's the key though? Like, it's not about like big.
Well,
and
loyalty's
tough.
the key.
Loyalty.
Always the key.
Yeah. And Jimmy
pretty
Galante,
yeah,
extremely loyal. And
Very
Richard
loyal,
Brosal told me about that. Told me about him like that. He said, once you're in with Jimmy, you're always in with Jimmy, dude.
You just need to look up Sopranos stuff. Like,
Well, I will. But like, I'm glad
who else
AJ
would you
came
look
on with us, dude.
You'd be like, what's that motherfucker? Oh God, the one kid was such a fucking weirdo. I got tried to murder.
From that show? I don't know, man. It's all
Yeah.
good. I hope people enjoyed it though. I'm glad we got AJ on.
Vito did make some money off of
Did
that,
he?
but
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
I
don't even know who he
he
is.
lost his way a little bit.
I've got a friend named Vito actually here
Poor
in
guy.
town who owns a pizza place called Vito's Pizza. Unbelievable spot if people want to check that out as well. They're Sicilian though, but the mob, but they're all kind of
a lot of them are from Actually, my mom's daddy's from.
Yes, they are. Did you see a lot of that out there in Jersey or what? Yeah,
Of course, man.
yeah, I know.
They like I was a magnet. To
But
all
not
that shit.
everybody.
They would find me in.
Not everybody's on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody,
No, there's a lot of fakeness going on.
that's
You
what
know
I mean.
what was what.
So how do you identify the real from the fake?
No, it all catches up because the bigger guys got bigger, cooler things that they show.
Like
just like a better setup in New York,
car
or a
and
bigger
stuff like
car,
that.
or this and
Okay.
that. You want to go into the fucking shore and look at this house.
Well, nobody's confusing you.
I mean,
driving that dusty truck you got going on right now.
It's paid off. I mean, I'm not sure. I used to have Corvette. I spent so much money on novelty shit. I'm good right now.
Yeah,
I got
no,
a
you
big
are
house,
good.
man,
You are good.
and
Yes.
2 cute puppies, and a hot wife.
Well, people who think that because they have dogs, like it's like having kids. We'll talk about that next time because it's not the same.
I mean, like, it's over
It's
today.
not the
It's
same.
over
It's not
today.
the same. It's brought to you by
It's
Car. It's
over.
brought to you by CarShield.
Yeah.
CarShield.com, 800-857-2481. 800-857-2481, CarShield and CarShield.com, baby. Give them a call today. Sign up. You like it long form plan? You can do a long form plan. Short term plan, you can do it short term. And just make sure you're protected. Something goes down in your car, you never know, man. It's going to cost you thousands of dollars, but not if you have that Car Shield protection, baby. 800-857-2481, carshield.com. Mention that promo code CAM. You're going to save 10%. I know it's tough, but it's embarrassing, but you got to do it. Bellman.com, BEHLMANN.com. Head on out to Troy. Check out all the new car selection.
I want that Buick.
Yeah, you can get a Buick, dude. You're going to get that Enclave, pearl white, captain seats, Check it out. You got on one side of the street the Cadillac Buick GMC. On the other side, very easy to get to, you've got the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And so lots of selection to choose from over there at Bellman.com. The best customer service you'll find anywhere. Of course, Daredevil Hockey.
Yep.
DaredevilHockey.com. It's hockey season, man. More and more people are reaching out to me being like, yes, I am on the Daredevil team. I am protecting my child from skate laceration. From skate laceration. Hey, DaredevilHockey.com. Use that promo code Cam and Strick.
Yeah.
And it's all caps.
Extra tough.
It is extra. It's going to save you lots of money, too.
Baby.
And make sure you take advantage of that great deal. But again, it's all caps. It's got that Kevlar material that protects all the vulnerable areas where you can get cut.
Yeah, Andy.
Yeah. Like
in the vulnerable areas that you don't go to. You hang out in a fucking slot like a pussy.
Look at that scar like I have.
Oh my God.
That's where the referee skated on me.
You get bit by a shark.
That's where the referee skated on me. So anyway, but I'm okay, man. Only if I knew about Daredevil back then, I would not have suffered this incredibly gruesome injury. Just very gruesome injury. DaredevilHockey.com. Make sure you check that out and do it today. All right, this has been the Cam Strick Podcast presented by HairClub. Again, check out hairclub.com. Over 1,200 locations throughout North America, so easy to find. And it's like your own personal trainer for your hair, because if you're suffering hair loss, it is a very serious thing.
It's the worst goddamn thing. I rather get punched in the goddamn face on a daily basis than look at myself in the mirror and be like, oh my God. Oh, and you look in the back and you take a mirror behind your head and you're like, oh,
Help
God,
is on the way.
Help is on the way.
Help is on the way. Check it out, baby. Hairclub.com. All right, this has been the Cam Strick Podcast featuring AJ Galante. Anthony James.
Anthony Jr.
Hope you enjoyed it. Hey, be sure to check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Cam and Strick. Check out all the great stuff we have going on there. We've got some great merchandise still available. Go to our website, www.camandstrick.com, and check out some of the merch that we have on there. If you want to listen to a previous episode, you can do that there as well. Any episode you're looking for, everything you're looking for is right there at camandstrick.com.
Yeah.